Great American Landowner. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 813 Departure. In addition to holding a few group buying websites that he can remember and can really develop in the future, his investment team has a lot of group buying websites. Most of the others are based on the model of one support and one sale. The money earned is used to open a cinema, which is a very good and healthy model. This is also the reason why he can spend too much money on cinemas. There is another advantage of doing group buying, that is, his investment company also has some shares in the mass market KTV chains in some southern cities in order to better support group buying websites. There is nothing good or bad to earn, it's just choosing the right time. I remember a sentence, this is the best time and the worst time. The words are very philosophical, it depends on how you understand it. Zhou smiled and said indifferently. Zhu Jinglui's literary youth did not explode, but she was very emotional about Zhou words. This may be the best time for you. This sentence really hit Zhou heart. Yes, this era, for him, may be the best time. The same era, different life, created his current life. Wait for me, I'll take a shower and then go with you. Zhou said as he took off the remaining piece of cloth on his body. Zhu Jinglui didn't seem to be embarrassed. Tell my assistant to prepare clothes for me. He said one more thing before going in. Zhu Jinglui gave him a ridiculous look. You are such a busy person, she said as she walked towards the door. There were two big black guys standing outside the door, and she was not afraid of them. Jess said he needs his assistant to help him prepare clothes. We are leaving soon. After the big black guy nodded to show that he understood, Zhu Jinglui retreated. When she was with Zhou, she realized what it meant to be a big shot. Wherever this guy went, there was a group of people following him. Two stood behind him when he went to the toilet, two stood outside the door, and there was also a female bodyguard watching him in the women's bathroom to prevent anyone from attacking him from the conjoined women's bathroom. I'm going crazy, she muttered. Her bodyguards were only hired when they were needed temporarily. At other times, it was the assistants who cleared the way. There was no one like him. Zhou's two assistants quickly knocked on the door of the room they were in. After Zhu Jinglui opened the door for them, the two politely greeted each other and came in with clothes and accessories in their hands. One of them was carrying a suit and the other was carrying a few boxes. They waited for him in the living room. Zhou came out with a bath towel wrapped around him. He looked over there, and Zhu Jinglui threw him a pair of pants. New, just sent by the hotel staff. He took a look, and saw that it was a famous brand. He smiled nonchalantly and said, thank you, Sister Jinglui. Then he unpacked the bag, and took out a pair of boxer briefs. After he stretched his feet in, he took off the bath towel wrapped around his lower body. Little guy, hurry up. Zhu Jinglui rolled her eyes at him, still combing her hair. When Zhou arrived in the living room, his two assistants had already prepared his clothes. He put on his pants, followed by a shirt and a jacket. A slightly yuppie style, simple black and white matching. The most bizarre thing is the purple gem-shaped buttons on the shirt, which are very eye-catching on the clothes. The female assistant helped him to tidy up, and then fixed his hair. Zhou stood and looked at the mirror, a perfect image of a handsome man. Then he put on the watch, earrings, gemstone pinky ring, etc., restrained but not losing nobleness. Zhu Jinglui also walked behind him and patted his shoulder. With this image, it's a pity not to be a star. I'm a star now, and the amount of newspapers is no less than those stars. Zhou turned around and put his arm around her waist. The two people in the mirror were really harmonious and beautiful at this moment. Several cars left the Four Seasons Hotel. This time, the premiere in the capital was held at the National Convention Center. Two of the investors are old-fashioned groups. The producer is Zhang Yibei, who is still very well connected in the circle, and is a good friend of Zhu Jinglui. Zhou, who was sitting in the car, also thought about it. Is he a third investor? If you go now, you will have something to do, but what should I do? Zhu Jinglui sat next to him and said, chat with people, talk about business. Or find two girls to flirt with. Isn't this what you men like most? Zhao Jixi followed her and said, "That's right. I wonder if there are any beauties in the venue. I'll pay attention to them later." Pa. Zhu Jinglei elbowed him, and he quickly blocked it with his palm. "I can't hit it. Pa." The other hand also moved, but Zhao Jixi still stopped it. "Brother, I've practiced it." "Really?" "Humph." Zhu Jinglei retracted his hand. "Just kidding. Didn't you ask me to flirt with you?" Zhao Jixi knew that women still had to be coaxed. No matter what type they were, coaxing them was always right. Be serious later. Don't pounce on women just because you see them. After all, I'm the one who brought you here, so pay attention to your image. Don't worry, with my name Zhao Jixi and this face, I look good in everything I do. Flirting with girls is called being romantic, and dressing informally is called personality. Having a bad temper and ignoring people is also called pride. He looked at her and said, "After you become a successful person in society, everything you do will be explained in many ways, and the social moral judgment will seem to lower the requirements for you." He stopped immediately when he saw Zhu Jinglei's cold face. "Don't worry, I won't joke anymore. The weather is nice today. Haha. Haha." Zhu Jinglei grinned at him, and the sound was as fake as it could be. Then Zhao Jixi couldn't hold back, and the hand that was stroking him instantly turned into a white bone claw, and it was twisting the muscles on the inside of his thigh. His mouth almost became more pursed, and he was still making shhh. "Don't worry, I'm really not ashamed of you. Promise not to flirt with women when you are here." National Convention Center today, there are many posters of Dulala and several human-shaped boards of the leading actors. There are also several huge paintings on the wall at the entrance. Zhao Jixi and others can see these pictures as soon as they get off the car. It's his first time to this place, and he is really curious. The bodyguards surrounded them, but not too tightly. Spreading out also allows Zhao Jixi to see the surroundings more clearly. Raymond was still protecting him closely, and Zhu Jinglei's assistant was waiting for her not far away. But seeing this group of foreign black-clad giants, he was so scared that he didn't dare to come forward. This time, the producer Zhang Yibei couldn't stay inside. Just now, Zhu Jinglei called and said that she would be here soon. Now she needs to take a look at all the things to see if she is satisfied, so that everyone can finalize the final things. It will start in the evening. Why hasn't she come yet? When they walked out, they saw Zhu Jinglei's assistant Xiao Zhang, who was shrinking back and didn't know what to do. "Xiao Zhang, have you seen Jinglei?" "Producer Zhang, Sister Jinglei seems to be in that group of people. Should we give her a call and go over there?" the girl said with some fear. Zhang Yibei looked at the girl with a headache on his face. "TSK, you girl, in a public place in broad daylight, what are you worried about?" He almost pointed his finger at her head. "Your boss is talking to someone over there. You are acting like this, and I have eaten rice for you for so long in vain." The girl was a little hesitant, but she still murmured, "But look at those people, they look like killers and bandits, especially the black man next to them. He doesn't look like a good person. If the boss is kidnapped." Zhang Yibei was sweating. "Stop, stop, stop, stop. Your brain is really. I said you are not born in the 90s. How come your brain is?" He didn't say anything harsh, but swallowed it back when it came to his lips. After all, she was not one of his subordinates. Besides, this girl was also a relative of Zhu Jinglei, so it was hard to say. Zhang Yibei looked over himself, but Raymond happened to stare at her eyes. That dark face really scared him, especially that look. It really looked like what the child said, not like a good person. After thinking about it, he took out his mobile phone and called. The girl Xiao Zhang secretly disdained. "What kind of person is that? Just talking about me? Humph. I'm not the same. The environment of the International Convention and Exhibition Center is good, and the green belts around are pretty good." Zhao Jixi wanted to take a look here, so he took Zhu Jinglei to walk around and take a look. "It's all great to the touch. What's good about it?" Zhu Jinglei said. Zhao Jixi was about to say something when Zhu Jinglei's mobile phone rang. He picked it up and started looking around. After turning twice, he stopped and waved in a direction. Then he saw a man and a girl walking towards this side. However, when they reached the safe distance considered by the bodyguards, they were stopped. Zhu Jinglei looked at Zhao Jixi, who immediately gave the bodyguard a look and then gestured with his fingers so that the tick could continue to move forward. Jingleri, you have to confirm the things inside for the last time. If there is no problem, we will follow the process tonight. Zhang Yibei may have been frightened by Raymond just now, and he didn't dare to pay attention to Zhao Jixi, just pretending that he didn't see him and didn't need to deal with him. Don't worry, I'll go in soon, Zhu Jinglei said, and then introduced Zhao Jixi and Zhang Yibei. This is my friend, Zhao Jixi, who is now in the United States, and one of the investors I told you about is him. Oh, Mr. Zhao. He stretched out his hand and said, I have heard of you for a long time. I'm Zhang Yibei, and I'm happy to meet you, Mr. Zhao. Zhang Yibei just resurrected himself first. His smooth personality was immediately revealed. Zhao Jixi looked at the man, and didn't immediately extend his hand. This man seemed to ignore him just now. After being reborn for so long, this kind of treatment is rare. Chapter 814 Girls' Generation comes to China. Zhu Jinglei knew something was wrong at first glance. Zhao Jixi didn't look like a very peaceful person. Dingdian novel. His personality is not unruly, but he is not a person who will be polite to everyone, especially since Zhang Yibei just ignored him. She immediately spoke up to help. Zhang Yibei, my friend for many years, is also the producer of this TV series. Zhao Jixi's silence made the atmosphere around him a little tense. The young assistant was even more nervous, not knowing where to look. He was still thinking, what to do. Zhao Jixi smiled lightly, and the atmosphere seemed like spring flowers blooming. Many people breathed a sigh of relief. Mr. Zhang, nice to meet you. Then he stretched out his hand and shook his hand. The assistant just finished answering the phone and came over. Zhao Jixi apologized to Zhang Yibei and Zhu Jinglei, and motioned to the assistant to say, Boss, the assistant of Alina consultant just called and wanted to ask Mr. Liu of Jixi Group to meet you. He said he wanted to have a meal, or invite you to visit the company. He thought about it. Anyway, he had nothing to do in the afternoon. Now he thought of something he could do, but he still looked at Zhu Jinglei first. I plan to invite some business partners to come and meet everyone, and it will also make your premiere more lively. Do you think it's okay? Zhu Jinglei admired Zhao Jixi's leap of thought, but still gave him face. Of course there is no problem. You are one of the investors. It would be great to invite some people to come and show your support. She stared at him and said, but forget about that international movie star. My temple is small, and I really can't accommodate her. Zhao Jixi smiled bitterly and said, okay, thank you. The rest of the words were selectively ignored. What to explain would be even more confusing. He turned around and said to his assistant, go ask Mr. Liu if he's free. I've just invested in a movie that's about to premiere. I'd like to invite him to attend, and we can have a conversation. He paused again. How many people have heard about my return to China recently and want to contact me? Since we knew you were back yesterday, Sky Investment, especially the people in charge of the companies we invested in Shai and Cheo, all want to meet you and talk about their views. The assistant replied immediately. Although there were reports about it before, it was obvious that the boss didn't take it seriously. As long as there were a few important investment projects, he wouldn't mind her reporting at any time. Although I'm a little anxious, I'll send them an invitation if I see them nearby. If they're free, just come to the National Convention Center and we'll chat. It's good for everyone to meet. Just tell them and find someone from Alina's side to polish my words. Zhao Jixi said. Okay, boss. The assistant replied. Get me a rough number of people so I can arrange a place inside. Zhu Jinglei added and said to Zhao Jixi's assistant. The assistant went to do something, and Zhao Jixi, Zhu Jinglei, Zhang Yibei and others went inside to see how the PR company had arranged it. As soon as Zhu Jinglei entered, she became a strong woman. While she was busy, Zhang Yibei stayed with Zhao Jixi. Brother Zhang, it's hard to help Sister Jinglei as a producer. Zhao Jixi said something to make conversation. It's okay. Most of the hard work is done by the producers. We just do the coordination. That's not easy. It's hard work. Then he changed the subject and said, I heard that it's easy to open a film company in China. Zhao Jixi asked. This? Zhang Yibei paused, as if he was organizing his words. It should be said that it's easy to open an entertainment and cultural company. Most of the companies that make movies in China are large companies. Small companies don't have connections, and it's a problem for the film to be released. And compared to making movies, it's easier to make TV series in China. Oh. Zhao Jixi didn't quite understand. Zhang Yibei also knew the current situation. Since Zhao Jixi was interested in understanding, he followed and explained. To start a simpler entertainment and cultural company in China, you don't actually need to shoot it yourself. There are many companies in the same industry that need investment. If you like it and think it has potential, then you can invest a little and be considered an insider. The two chatted a lot. Zhao Jixi listened, and Zhang Yibei said, I'm about to apply for a theater license with a few friends recently. Do you think it's easy for me to start a film company like this? Zhao Jixi asked. Zhang Yibei looked at the young man, but it doesn't look like he's bragging. It's just that this blow seems a bit big, and the idea of living a dog's life in this life suddenly appeared in his mind. Before he spoke, Zhao Jixi spoke first, holding a mobile phone in his hand, and said with a slightly apologetic expression, sorry, I have to take a call. Please, it's okay. Zhang Yibei said politely. After answering the phone, the energetic voice of the girl came out. Oppa, were you surprised to receive my call? We are in China today. Wow, your hometown is really great. Zhao Jixi was surprised and asked, Sunny, why did you come to China? Is there an announcement here? Sunny was a little nervous. She just used that enthusiastic look to cover herself up. She swallowed secretly and said, Oppa. Zhao Jixi smiled awkwardly. How could it be? Oppa can't lie to you. I have too many things to do recently. Talks, meetings, shows all day long, and my assistant happened to arrange for me to work somewhere else. The new assistant hadn't arrived yet, and the ones who came recently are all new, so I forgot some things. Sunny, forgive Oppa. Sunny felt a lot more relaxed when she heard Zhao Jixi say this. She has seen many reports about Zhao Jixi recently. The pressure immediately came up. The president of the South Korean 4-star group was only ranked in the top 50, but Jay Chou was already in the top 70. Considering the age issue, it was almost no problem for him to surpass this second-generation Korean conglomerate legend. The net worth of nearly $10 billion almost made her legs weak. She knew that this Oppa was rich, but he didn't want to be so rich. Oppa has been very busy recently. Have you rested well? Sunny knew some of his recent affairs. She had seen Jay Chou's dynamics in the Tomcat, which had just exceeded 1 million. It's okay, I'm in good health. Jay Chou said. Sunny, why did you suddenly come to China? Oh, it's our Asian tour, and this stop is the concert in Zhanghe, China. Sunny explained. Our concert is on the 17th. We came here early to familiarize ourselves with the venue and do adaptation rehearsals. Yeah, Sunny, yeah, you are having a concert. Jay Chou knew that being able to hold a concert was a thing worth celebrating for a singer. Really, it's really Oppa's negligence. Hey, our little girl Sunny is also holding a concert. It really feels different. Little Sunny's eyes narrowed with laughter. Oppa Jess is indeed not the kind of person who distinguishes friends by wealth. He is more American, based on personal achievements. It doesn't have to be a lot of money to prove your worth. As long as you prove your worth, he will congratulate you. I'm so happy to tell him this now. I told Oppa last time, but I'm really happy to have a concert this time. It's good to be happy. Oppa is happy for you too. You are now in Xi'an Zhanghe. Do you know where Oppa is today? Zhao Jixi aroused the girl's curiosity. Where is Oppa? Sunny was still thinking about what this meant. Oppa, aren't you in San Francisco, California, USA? As soon as she said this, she immediately thought of something. She suddenly stood up from the sofa, covering her mouth, and said in disbelief, is Oppa also in Zhanghe? Oh, no. A lost female voice. No, I mean, I'm not in Zhanghe now, but it's almost the same. I'm in the capital of China now. Zhao Jixi said with a smile. Wow, it's true. The girl stopped talking and suddenly asked in a low voice, will Oppa come to our concert? Zhao Jixi thought about it. The child seemed to have said the 17th. Now it's still a few days away from the 17th, and he really can't be separated. Yes, Oppa will go to support you then. Yeah, that's really great Oppa. Sunny almost jumped up with joy. The two of them are also very large in girls' generation, and the ups and downs are also very large. Zhou Jixi held the phone and listened to the girls' cheers and laughter, and a kind of happy emotion grew in his heart. Looking at the busy people around him, he seemed to think of something in his mind. By the way, Sunny, do you have time today? Opera is in the capital city. There is a very interesting movie premiere today. Do you want to attend? Zhou Jixi suggested. Ah, you want me to go to the capital to attend a premiere? Sunny's brain seemed to be a little behind him. It was jumping too fast. Well, do you have time now? Zhou Jixi asked. Sunny hesitated a little. She did have a little time today, but it was a bit too urgent to go to the capital city now and rush back tomorrow. Don't worry. It will be very fast. Oppa will pay for your plane ticket so that you can go there quickly, and it is the most comfortable first class cabin. How about it? I have a lot of delicious food here. If Oppa didn't feel a little guilty, you wouldn't have these benefits. Zhou Jixi tempted her with a smile. AIZ, Oppa, don't tempt me. I can't stand it anymore. I'll go. I'm going. Sunny looked defeated, but still very happy. Okay, send your passport information to this number. I'll find someone to help you get to the capital city quickly. We'll meet here in 2 to 3 hours. Zhou Jixi said and hung up the phone, sent a message, and waited for Sunny. Sunny had already agreed, so of course she had to do something. After completing what Jay Chou had asked her to do, she began to hesitate. Would it be a bit too much to tell the members' children now? Going to the capital alone without taking them with her? Chapter 815, Sunny and the Complicated Girls. Taking out her cell phone, she called her uncle Li Suman in Seoul. She told him about it and hoped that he would tell his agent to find a reason that she was going to the capital city to attend an event. Li Suman felt very strange when he heard his niece's words. Looking at the Forbes magazine on the right, there were small portraits behind the wrinkled rich giants, one of which was a young man with an Asian face. Jess Chow ranked 73rd, and the wealth he now has is almost impossible to earn in his lifetime. But this young man did it easily. The market value of his company is more than he has struggled for all these years. Almost in an instant, he was about to doubt what he had worked so hard for all these years. After taking a deep breath, he said, Sunny, I will arrange it for you. Go to the capital. Keep this friendship, and your future may be another brilliant one. Yeah, thank you uncle, I know. Sunny didn't know which sentence she heard, but it was enough for her to smile happily at this time. You kid. Li Suman shook his head. Hurry up and pack. Sunny hung up the phone happily and called her assistant in, asking her to prepare a dress for her to wear. She might have to walk the red carpet or attend a movie premiere tonight, and it seemed that she would be photographed by reporters wherever she went. Several sisters were resting in their respective hotel rooms. Now they were also somewhat famous. At least when they went out, they could have their own *** room, although when they were in the dormitory, they still had to sleep together. Some people had already rested, and she wondered if she should go and tell them. But after thinking about it, it was better for her agent not to tell them. Some of the little thoughts in her heart were not to be told to outsiders. She carried a cute and fashionable backpack with some cosmetics, some underwear, and a set of clothes to change. Anyway, she would not be away for long, and would be back tomorrow. She packed up, and her assistant also came in with the packed dress box. Their general manager had already followed in. Director Sunny has already told me that I will tell the members about your announcement this time. You should leave quickly now. Xiu Li will go with you. Zhou Yang put on sunglasses, looked at him with a smile and said, well, thank you, Op. It couldn't be better to be able to say that it was an announcement. It would be easier to explain to the sisters in the future. Okay, let's go quickly. I have asked the hotel to prepare the car. They will take you directly to the airport. The manager urged with a smile. The assistant was holding a box with an evening dress and carrying a backpack. Zhou Yang walked out, and she followed immediately. However, when she went out, she happened to meet Tian, who had just left. Captain Zhou Gui looked at Zhou Yang strangely. Sunny, what are you doing? Sunny stiffened when she heard the voice in the hotel corridor. Ah, pervert Yan scared me. What? I'm not very loud, Ian said ridiculously. Feeling a little guilty, Sunny immediately looked at the manager who came out after hearing the voice. Sunny has a notice. The company just issued it. She will be back tomorrow, said the agent. Notice? How come I don't know? As the captain, Ian usually knows the notices of her members and helps the agent manage the team members. And it's an announcement in China? Sunny didn't want to lie at this time. After all, they were sisters who had experienced the Black Sea. Even though they had their own little plans, because of their growing fame, they were still close sisters after all. Jessop. It was Jessop who knew that I came to China, and he happened to be in the capital of China, and there was a close sister of my mother there, so he invited me to the capital to play for a day, because of the company, so he just issued a notice. Zhou Ian had a deep impression of this person. Now the Angry Bad's clothing in the Korean region has been opened, and the initial sales look good. Perhaps in more than a year or two, the cost can be recovered, and their girls' generation will also have their own chain clothing agency. Oh, then be careful, don't work too hard, Ian said with a slightly complicated heart. It is said that Sunny is the person with the deepest background in girls' generation. Before, there was only Lee Soo-man. Although everyone didn't say it, they were actually very envious. Who knew that she would become even more powerful later? She was the son of her mother's friend and the youngest director of the TV station. What's even more incredible is that they also have a godchild of a world-class rich man. And Sunny is still very popular with them. Compared with Lee Soo-man's uncle, she is really much higher. Don't worry, I will take good care of myself. Sunny said goodbye to Ian with a heartless look. The agent looked at this scene and thought of how he had seen too much in the entertainment industry over the years. People can always share adversity, but it is obviously impossible to share wealth. That is obviously a utopia. The reality is that everyone has their own ideas. It's just that girls' generation has a good relationship and has indeed experienced a lot together, so in the short term, there will be no such separation and reunion. The taxi drove to the airport. Sunny had gotten rid of Ian's curiosity and arrived at the airport happily with her assistant. Zhou had already booked a flight ticket for her. After she arrived at the airport, she went directly to the VP lounge to wait. The next flight would take off soon. Zhou was no longer chatting with Zhang Yibei at this time. There were many more people arriving at the scene, but it was not yet night. Most of the people who came at this time were related to this work. He was chatting with the producer of this film at this time. 3 people were sitting on wooden chairs. There was a cup of tea on the table, and several people were smoking. He wanted to learn about the movie, and they also wanted to make friends with this sponsor. It was a good thing for the producer to have more connections. Time was fast. Zhu Jinglei had already made arrangements, and made the final confirmation. The host was also rehearsing the words for the last time. She watched Zhou chatting with people like a fish in water not far away, and she didn't feel bored here at all. This disappointed her. She originally thought that if she brought him here earlier, he could suffer from boredom because he didn't know anyone and was in a different industry. Who knows, it looks like he is doing well. This really disappointed her. The matter between Zhang Ziyi and Zhou had made her depressed, and now she hadn't gotten back what she had lost. Chapter 816 is coming. A few hours passed quickly. Zhou assistant first reported the number of people who would attend the premiere, and also showed him the information carefully. Write down who is who, otherwise, with that much time to introduce, how can you remember all 10 people clearly? It just so happened that he was also planning to find something to kill time, and the girls over there couldn't be picked up. Zhu Jinglei was staring at him. There was no official restriction between the two of them, but as each other's male and female companions, it was really a bit unmanly to be so disrespectful in front of each other. Besides, he was not the kind of person who would pounce on a woman when he saw her. It was just that he would look for a woman when he felt that he needed a woman physically and mentally. Another point was that he was actually afraid of trouble, especially emotionally. If you talk about feelings with a woman, she will have to talk about money with you. It's definitely big money. If it's small money, then he can just find a call girl. Big money for him now is the kind of money that belongs to marriage. In short, he would rather not get married for the rest of his life than give half of his property to someone all at once. After Zhu Jinglei finished her work, she stared at Zhao Jixi. This man was indeed the most charming when he was serious. Seeing him staring at the information and understanding these people, his serious look and sharp face exuded a unique man's flavor. It's a pity that you are not mine. In her heart, she could only sigh. The time she had been in contact with Zhao Jixi was not very long. She didn't know him very well. She just felt a little bit that this person seemed to lack a sense of security deep in his heart. Have a cup of coffee. When Zhao Jixi was distracted and looked at her, Zhu Jinglei handed over the cup and said, "Thank you." Zhao Jixi took it. "What are you busy with?" "Wait for the information of the guests I invited." "Haha. I don't know until I see it. I know that my investment in China is quite large. It seems that Alina has done a good job." Zhao Jixi's satisfied expression was completely real in front of her. "Baby, baby, baby." The phone rang. Zhao Jixi apologized to her, and when the woman said she didn't mind, he picked up the phone and looked at it. It was the bodyguard who went to the airport to pick up Sunny. "Boss, Miss Sunny said she wanted to confirm with you. Let her pick it up." Zhao Jixi said. "Hey, Jeezy Oppa." The girl's voice came from the phone. "Hurry up and get in the car with the bodyguard. You are really cautious, but this is a good habit. You have to be careful when you go out." He said. "No, I know your bodyguard. I just thought you would come to pick me up." Sunny said. "I'm at the scene and can't leave." "Don't worry, Oppa will treat you to delicious food tonight. The old capital specialties will make you happy." Sunny thought about it and said, "Okay, don't forget it." Zhao Jixi shook his head and hung up the phone. He didn't know if it was the right choice to bring her over. Then he saw Zhu Jinglei still looking at him. He didn't know if she heard the female voice just now. "You can speak Korean too?" Zhu Jinglei asked in surprise. "Yes, my godmother is Korean, and I also specially studied it for a while. It's quite simple," Zhao Jixi said easily. Zhu Jinglei's expression of "you are really awesome" made him feel much happier physically and mentally. "Oh, by the way, my sister just called me, and she will also come to the premiere in the evening." "Sister?" Zhu Jinglei's expression was very meaningful. Zhao Jixi didn't know if she was overthinking this, or he thought too much, so he explained, "She is not my biological sister, but the daughter of a good sister of my godmother. The girl has a good personality and is very cute." "Oh." The answer was also a bit meaningful. Looking at her eyes, Zhao Jixi felt that he was a little bit untrustworthy. "Sister, I don't have the habit of eating grass near my own backyard." Seeing Zhu Jinglei's slightly improved complexion, he continued, "She is also in the entertainment industry." "Oh. What's her name?" "She's not from China. She's Korean." "No. I just said Korean. You can't even think of that." Zhao Jixi thought of something funny and looked at her and said, "Your brain also has times when it reacts slowly." "Haha. Go. I was just thinking about something. Otherwise how could I not know?" Old Zhu would never admit the fact that he was stupid in front of him. Zhao Jixi suddenly realized that he really didn't think too much. Women are such complex animals that people like him who often think with their lower body can't understand. "Okay, of course you are a female intellectual now. How can you be related to stupidity?" He said so, but the snicker at the corner of his mouth also made Zhu Jinglei want to pinch him a few times. "Huh." She snorted and turned her head away. "She is in the Korean entertainment industry, a young idol. Have you heard of Girls' Generation?" "Girls' Generation?" Zhu Jinglei said she didn't know. She didn't know many of the newly rising singers in China, let alone those from Korea. This time she's coming to China for a concert. Maybe this girl can attract a lot of attention from young otakus for you. Zhu Jinglei was a little disdainful, but she just said, "With you, Jay Chou, a world-class young rich man, Chinese, and grew up in China. Aren't these attractive enough?" Jay Chou smiled bitterly. "Brother, it's indeed a good hype point. Of course, by the way, we can also jointly hype your Tomcat. Although ordinary users in China can't connect to the world network, you can at least get some users if you put more ads. It's also a good choice to use them for advertising in the future." The woman analyzed it for him like a consultant. He listened and looked like, well, it makes sense. That annoying look made the woman couldn't help but lift his little feet twice so that she would listen to him honestly. There is still a long way from the airport to the International Conference Center. Sunny was in the car looking at the roadside. There was still a bit of traffic jam at this time. In the capital, if there is no traffic jam, it is really not the most congested in the capital. The assistant saw that the boss was still flirting with others, but thinking about work, he still ran over to Zhou Jixi and said, "Boss, Miss Sunny is here." He nodded and stood up. "I'm going to pick someone up." Zhu Jinglei also stood up. "Let's go together. I have to go back to the hotel here and change clothes later. Your sister Sunny probably needs to change too. Only women understand women." Zhou Jixi, a man, has already changed his clothes, so he doesn't need to change into an evening dress like them, which makes it inconvenient to move. "Okay," he responded. "Let's go together." The bodyguard's car also stopped outside the National Convention Center. As soon as Zhou Jixi came out, he saw Sunny chewing gum and listening to music with a headset. No, it seems to be playing games. An assistant was sitting quietly next to her, looking at the bodyguards with curiosity from time to time. They were tall and strong, which was rare in Korea. She wanted to touch Sunny lightly, to remind her that the people had come out. Zhou Jixi waved his hand from a distance to indicate that she didn't need it. I don't know if it was his strong aura at this time, or the bodyguards behind and beside him that frightened the female assistant and stopped her actions immediately. Concentrated women are very cute, especially those who are focused on playing games. Sunny looked like she wanted to pinch her face. Are you waiting for opera? You are still playing games." Zhou Jixi walked to her side softly, took away her headset, and yelled, "Ah!" The girl was startled and almost threw her phone at Zhou Jixi. Fortunately, he reacted quickly and stopped the girl's hand. "AIZ." Sunny saw the person clearly and looked ridiculous. She kept saying this. She shook her head twice, as if she couldn't believe it, pouting, "Oppa, how could you do this? You scared me to death. Little girl, why are you still playing games at this time?" Zhou Jixi rubbed her head with his right hand. "Axie, my hairstyle, Oppa." Sunny was not tall, and Zhou Jixi deliberately kept a distance from her, so that the girl's hand could not reach him at all. "Axie." Haha. Zhou Jixi had made a joke and let go of Sunny to hit him a few times to vent his anger. Okay, just a joke. You haven't grown much during this period. Isn't it said that girls can still grow up until they are 23 years old? Zhou Jixi muttered in a low voice, making Sunny's face dark. Is it only the breasts that grow? Sunny's face darkened. Zhu Jinglei watched the two people playing, and it was impossible for her not to have something in her heart. Fortunately, the relationship between the two was not clear to begin with, so it was not easy to say anything on the spot. "Oppa." Sunny pouted and said angrily. Just kidding. Haha. Okay, no more kidding. Come here and introduce you to someone. He said. He had already naturally put his arm around her shoulders and took her 2 steps forward. "This is my friend, Zhu Jinglei. Try calling her a few words in Chinese, and she will respond to you. Sister Jinglei, this is the sister I was talking about. Sunny." Zhou Jixi introduced both sides. Sunny looked at this woman. She was not very beautiful, but she was very elegant. Her English was not very good, and she had to speak slowly to be able to speak clearly and understand. In addition, her Korean style English was only understood by people like Zhou Jixi. "Hello, how are you?" Sunny bowed and greeted, and she was more attractive than her at first sight. "Hello, Sunny." Zhu Jinglei also greeted politely. The two women got to know each other in this way, and the three of them got into the car. As for the assistants, there was no need to introduce them. They were all very tactful and followed them. These are all Zhou Jixi's assistants, arranged by the host, so he doesn't need to worry about anything. Chapter 817. 3 people. In the car, Zhou Jixi translated for the two women who were chatting. Sunny's hair was dyed cute this time. Golden yellow was the main color, like fluffy cotton candy, with pink tones on the edges. With big eyes, she was a very cute girl. The two women chatted about the entertainment industry. Sunny knew that this sister was actually a director. This time she came here to participate in the movie she directed and acted in. This is a big screen movie. Among those who are in the entertainment industry, the big screen is the most high-end and atmospheric. She said you are great and she admires you very much. In the evening, she will definitely enjoy your movie, but I need to translate. Zhao Jixi translated to Zhu Jinglei with a wry smile. Then you have to translate it well. Maybe my movie can enter the Korean movie market. Zhu Jinglei patted his shoulder, looking optimistic about him, but the gloating expression made Zhao Jixi really depressed. Why are you so excited? Really? Zhao Jixi said. As for, I originally wanted you to be depressed today, but who knew that you could get along so well in this strange place and chat with everyone and be quite happy. Speaking of this Zhu Jinglei, I felt that I had indeed miscalculated. That's right. Zhao Jixi understood at this point, saying that he was worthy of her. It was just a woman's pettiness. Oh, I thought so. Women are really at the same level as villains, and they are difficult to raise. What are you talking about? Zhu Jinglei pointed at herself with her finger. I'm difficult to raise? Sunny looked at the two people laughing and joking, and felt a little jealous. The two people were obviously not boyfriend and girlfriend, but they were so close. But she was still next to them. No, you are so difficult to raise. Don't be too easy to raise. My parents said that women are the easiest to raise. A small bowl of rice, you women only eat 1/3 of the amount in it, saying that it is to lose weight. This is a lot of money for a poor family, eating less and doing more. Go away. Zhu Jinglei could hear that this kid was still joking with him. When Zhao Jixi was joking with Zhu Jinglei, his hand accidentally touched Sunny, and he secretly cried out in his heart. It seems that it is really strong. Sunny was stunned for a moment, but her face slowly turned red. Just now, it seemed that Op touched that place. Why did she feel an electric sensation? That place even got hot. My god, I'm a girl. When dancing normally, there are also some touches, but there is no such feeling at all. Sunny, what are you thinking about? Zhao Jixi pretended that nothing had happened and asked the girl who was blushing and seemed to be thinking. Sunny looked at him confusedly, as if to ask, what are you talking about? I'm asking what you are thinking about. So deep? No, nothing. Sunny replied in a panic. Op, I don't really understand what you are saying, so of course I have to think about it. Then she said with confidence. Oh, it's really my fault. Then he said, let's communicate in English later, so that everyone can understand. If I had known, you would have said it now. Back at the hotel, the women were busy. Zhu Jinglei took Sunny to make up. Her stylist was already waiting. It was not a big deal to have Sunny. She brought an assistant with her, who could also take care of her makeup. Besides, she had a good makeup technique. In Korea, you have to touch up your makeup at any time, and try to show your best side. This is a matter of respect for people. Besides, she is in the entertainment industry, so she has to have some skills. Although she is not as good as those professionals, it is enough to deal with it. She also brought her own dress. Zhu Jinglei's stylist took a little time to get it done. It is worth mentioning that Sunny was wearing sky-high heels and a dress. She was really a little amazing when she came out. Zhao Jixi was very familiar with the dress. He gave it to the girl. It was just right to wear it now, and it was really beautiful. The structure in front shows the breast shape very beautifully, with a feeling of temptation but unattainable. Plus Sunny is quite rich. After putting on the high heels, the girl's figure is more upright. Standing next to him also looks a lot more natural and harmonious. Compared with Zhao Jixi, who is 1 meter tall, Sunny, who is almost 1.7 meters tall at this time, plus the girl's 1.7 meters, actually looks very tall. Sunny still has fluffy hair, which makes her taller. The two standing together look very harmonious. It's the first time I see you wearing this dress. It's very beautiful. Zhao Jixi took the girl's right hand and walked 2 steps. The goddess style is really full. Zhu Jinglei also came out, but after she was dressed up, she didn't seem to be as international as Sunny. Although the design of the clothes fits her temperament very well, it is indeed a little lost compared to Sunny's one. Wow, Sunny, you are really beautiful. Zhu Jinglei showed a lot of grace. Thank you. Sunny certainly understands the meaning of beautiful in English. Sister, you are also very elegant and beautiful. She also replied, feeling very pleased with Zhu Jinglei's exaggeration of her. When she was in the dormitory, she would sometimes wear this dress to make the girls envious. thinking that she would wear it on that big occasion. And this time it was Zhou Jixi who invited her, and without thinking, she wanted to put the dress he gave her on the bed in front of him. Okay, two beautiful ladies, now is not the time for you to flatter each other. Before he finished speaking, he threw a soft pillow at the two girls, who quickly dodged it. After the joke, they looked at the time, and had to set off. As an investor in the movie, Zhou Jixi also casually put up the title of producer. In addition, this time he had invited guests, so he had to walk the red carpet, and go inside first, so that he could meet and greet those people. The person in charge of public relations on Alina's side had already gone there, and communicated with Zhu Jingluo's team. They were only responsible for entertaining the guests invited by Zhou Jixi in the area allocated to him, and there were naturally people waiting by the autograph wall for the reception outside. After confirming that they were their guests, they would invite them in. So he only had to be responsible for shaking hands and greeting them when he arrived at the scene. If he felt it was okay, he could also communicate with them about the company's affairs. He believed that these people were willing to listen to his opinions and suggestions. He was known for having created $2 billion companies with just a few ideas. If he said his brain was bad, none of them would believe him. Being able to create a name for oneself in the United States, a place where talents and ideas gather, is really a big victory for yellow-skinned people. Chapter 818 begins. The three of them were sitting in the Ford Raptor that Zhou Jixi liked. It was big, wide and luxurious. Although the price was not top-notch, it would cost several million in China. With the interior, the price was actually quite high. At this time, many people had already come to the National Conference Center, and the reporters were even more on guard. More than 300 media outlets were staring at the stopped car with their cameras erected. The first to come were the producers of the film and some behind-the-scenes staff. There were also people who were involved in the production, and distribution of the film. However, they were not the top-level personnel. ****BOSSES like Sun Yu were designated to arrive last. As one of the investors of the film, Lao Zhu's connections were not exaggerated. This time Sun Yu came to support the scene. When Zhou Jixi and others arrived, Sun Yu had not arrived yet. Originally, when he heard Zhu Jingluo talking about it in the car, he wanted to get to know this fierce man. God does not want what he wants, so he gave up. Later, he might not have so much time to get to know him. Today's premiere was broadcast by the movie channel to help expand the influence of the film. The Huang Xing in front had already entered, which aroused the shouts of many ignorant girls. Jay Chou was still thinking that he would probably arouse the roars of many materialistic girls. The car stopped at the red carpet door, and the bodyguards had already arrived. The reporters were a little surprised by the foreign bodyguards next to the guardrail. The publisher was really willing to spend money to hire bodyguards. It was not the security guards with loose uniforms and a monthly salary of 3 or 4,000 yuan. If they were replaced by white-skinned and black-skinned foreigners, the price would not be much lower. Thinking about this, they did a good job. Jay Chou got out of the car first. The reporters saw a man, still unfamiliar, and immediately lost a lot of interest. However, many people were thinking, why did this face look a little familiar? Jay Chou, I don't know who shouted, and immediately many reporters came back to their senses. Jay Chou, Jess Zhao, my god, a world-class rich man from the Celestial Empire. And the youngest, no doubt. There was a commotion, and the reporters were all excited. Oh my god, why would he appear here? He didn't pay attention to the commotion over there. He opened the door and let the ladies get out of the car. He used his hands to move Zhu Jingluo out. Suddenly, white light flashed non-stop. Then he took Sunny out. The girl looked at so many reporters and felt a little nervous. When they came to China, there really weren't so many reporters. Here, almost all of them were full of guns and cannons. South Korea is a small country with a small population. It really can't support many media people. China is different. Every city has its own newspaper and media. There are hundreds of newspapers, plus online media, entertainment magazines, fashion magazines, etc. This film is about fashion. So many fashion magazines came. Zhu Jingluo and Jess Zhao are sitting in the same car. The commotion in the media group became even more intense. Some time ago, it was rumored that Jess Zhou and Zhang Yi were dating. There were photos of them hugging each other, kissing, attending banquets, and a lot of intimate behaviors. The American media even broke the news that they went to the Oracle Arena to watch a game together. The media interviewed Zhang Yi many times, and their studio became more and more ambiguous in denying it. However, Zhang Yi himself is still denying it. As for what the intention is, Zhao Jixi doesn't know for the time being. He doesn't want to know. This is the best answer. Denying it will benefit him. Even if he admits it, it will only bring him the reputation of a playboy, but it won't really bring any harm. Zhao Jixi smiled and walked towards the red carpet with the two women. The screams of many people made the scene a little noisy, but it was more passionate and layered, and a little superior. Look, so many people are screaming and cheering for you. It feels like you are a heart. No wonder so many people like to be a star. It feels really good. Mr. Zhao, what is your relationship with Miss Zhu Jingli? Mr. Zhao, you will appear at the premiere of the movie and come with Miss Zhu Jingli. Do you have any special relationship? Director Zhou, what is your relationship with Mr. Zhao? You came together. Are you dating? The reporter asked. The reporters focused their firepower on the two people, and Sunny was not so popular. The girl had thought of this a long time ago. It was clear today that this sister was the protagonist, and Jiziop would also be an important male supporting role. She was just a female supporting role, and she didn't know where she ranked. Everyone, slow down. You keep asking questions, and I can't speak, right? Zhu Jingli calmly dealt with these reporters. Zhao Jixi was watching from the side, thinking about what to say. He was not in a hurry. This was not his home court. He would take his time. After Zhu Jingli spoke, he could also speak later. The reporters listened and nodded, and the questions gradually became quieter. Mr. Jess Chow and I are good friends. He is also one of the producers of this movie. After listening to her, Zhao Jixi smiled and said, yes, I admire Leo Zhu's talent. I heard about this movie at the beginning. It's very good, so I invested in it. Are you dating? Reporter Zhu Jingli smiled faintly and said, no, if I were in love, I would tell everyone. Jess and I are just good friends. Although we have feelings for each other, it's just friendship. Mr. Zhao, are you and Zhang Yi in love? A magazine took pictures of you and Ms. Zhang kissing and intimate photos? Okay. Zhao Jixi waved his hand to let the reporters quiet down. Zhang Yi and I are just friends. As for the intimate photos, that's just a sign of our good relationship. We are not in love. There's no need to ask about these things. Mr. Zhao, a magazine also took pictures of you and Zhang Yi with the Jobs and their wife. If there was no special relationship, how could you bring her to communicate with the chairman of Apple? The reporters were indeed gossipy. I said, it's just friendship. I know Sister Yi's parents, and I have a good relationship with the Zhang family. Sister Yi just went to my place for vacation, and I need a female companion for the dinner. She was my female companion that night, so please don't let me fall in love. It will make it difficult for me to have a girlfriend. He looked at a good-looking female reporter and said, when the time comes, you will be responsible for it. Jay Chow and the other person kept asking questions, and he was a little annoyed by answering them. It's such a short distance, but they haven't arrived yet after walking for so long. Miss Sunny, as a member of Girls' Generation in South Korea, how come you are here and with Mr. Jesse Chow? Finally, an online media recognized who the woman next to Jay Chow and Zhu Jingli was. He had been thinking about this girl just now. The face looked really familiar. I didn't expect it to be Girls' Generation who will be coming to China for a concert recently. It's really strange that these people would get together. The man used English, and Sunny could hear what he said. Sunny is my eldest child. We are close siblings. This time I know she came to China, so I took her out to play. Don't be curious about this, Zhao Jixi said, and took Sunny and Zhu Jingli to speed up. It took almost 20 minutes to walk through the red carpet of more than 100 meters. It feels a bit fucked up to think about it. I said, these people are really annoying. They keep asking the same questions. They are a bunch of questions. You only hear what you want to hear, or they are very loud. Zhu Jingli said with a smile, that bunch of people are chattering. How can you hear it so clearly? Dizzy. Zhao Jixi was depressed, then turned around and said to Sunny, I thought it was fun just now. Who knew it was so tiring? I wouldn't have dragged you in if I had known. Haha, I don't feel tired walking with Jessop, Sunny said. He laughed, then remembered that there didn't seem to be many interviews with Sunny just now, and the last one seemed to have snatched the right to answer from him. If no one asked questions to celebrities, it might be a kind of harm to them, because they make a living from this. Okay, let's not talk about this, let's go in first. Go in early, and get some food. I just forgot about this matter. Fortunately, there is food prepared inside. He was talking about the place with several round tables in the front row. There was a banquet there, with wine and food, but there might not be much. If he went too late, there might really be nothing. The three of them went in. There were already some people, and there were also media people on standby. They were doing the back, at least they could take pictures. As for interviews, it would be a bit difficult. Zhao Jixi first saw the man named Huang Lixing, and there were two of his assistants beside him. But, he doesn't look that good. He curled his lips in disdain. His two assistants were at the table not far away. That was the area allocated to him, and he entertained the guests he invited today. I'll go first, you keep busy, Zhao Jixi said to Zhu Jinglei. Yeah. She was going to be busy after she came in. The main creative staff will show up soon, and they all have to go up. Now there is still some time before leaving the venue, and she also has to greet some guests. To survive in China, you rely on your face and connections. Zhao Jixi also had to greet his guests, and of course Sunny followed him. Not long after, someone came to his side, and the assistant next to him introduced who was who. In fact, he had memorized the things and information a long time ago. The person who came in was a certain company he invested in, and he could tell a thing or two about it. Many people who still lamented that he was too young completely saw that the man in front of them was not an ordinary person. Chapter 819 Zhao Fen. Zhao Jixi has invited quite a few guests, including the CEOs of several group buying websites, who are indeed not very old. Zhao Jixi chatted with a few of them that he was optimistic about and expressed his willingness to continue to support them. No, he would not sell them to make a profit like other websites. Instead, he would guarantee that he would not touch his shares within 2 years and called on everyone to trust his character. As an angel investor, he is also very conscientious. These people also said nice things, but they were not so relaxed about these capitalists. Zhao Jixi's team has a two-tier reputation in the circle. It is true that he is quick to invest. If you are optimistic about a project, it is also easy to find him to continue financing. But when he turns his face, he is also ruthless and heartless. He said he would sell it, and the profit-seeking approach of the West also made many people feel cold. Many of the bankrupt group buying websites in the circle are really related to him. He made a quick fortune and then left. Some of the people who took over later were able to run the business, but more of them were defeated in the fierce competition. He didn't invest a lot of money when he came here. Zhao Jixi just thought they were still valuable, otherwise he wouldn't bother to complain to them. In the next few years, several internet giants will start to integrate network resources. They waved checks everywhere to buy companies. They kept the best few of these group buying websites, and he also sold them at that time to maximize profits. As for whether they want to become bigger and stronger and want to develop independently, what does this have to do with him? As long as the giants can afford the price, there is nothing he dare not sell. And the most important thing is that he can use this to get the stocks of the giants. So whether it is a merger or acquisition, it is good for him. In the distance, the assistant brought another person over. That is Zhao Fen, whom he wanted to invest in. Lei Chun's face is much easier to recognize than Huang Laod out of the Yu clan, and this guy has a much stronger foundation than that one. Zhao Jixi also used the mobile phone of the Yu clan in his previous life. The earliest one was M8, but it was really unsatisfactory. After that, the quality of mobile phones came out one after another, and it was really not very good. Overheating, slow operation, and screen are common problems of domestic mobile phones. Anyway, he stopped using the Yuzu later. He had waited for so long in vain. Zhao Fen also rose at that time, and gradually surpassed Yuzu, a mobile phone brand that was very similar to him. Zhao Jixi smiled and took a few steps forward. This person will be a good investment target in the future. He has a strong foundation and is also an angel investor. Of course, he cannot be compared with him in terms of capital. He was very successful in his previous positions and investments. Now he has come out to start a new business and met Zhao Jixi's investment team. This also made their newly formed xylophone studio very curious. After receiving the invitation today, Lei Jun also wanted to come and see the boss of this Sky Investment. Sky Investment has been very successful during this period, and the hot money on the internet has made them a lot of money. It's just that some of their actions and methods made Lei Jun frown a little. Jess Zhao also asked his friends in the United States to inquire about it. To be honest, his reputation in Apple is not very good. He can't find out much about the board of directors, but at least he knows that a group of people in Apple are a bit shady. He is also one of them, seeing that he is convinced to follow the boss Jobs. However, no one can guarantee how Jobs' health will be, and no one knows how things will develop in the future. The latest economic review report also implicitly stated that there are many dirty tricks in the senior management of Apple. It is speculated that there is a hidden transaction between the senior management of the company. Ali and Jess Zhou have met secretly many times, and there is a group of people inside who are making trouble. They pointed out Jess Zhou. The means by which he entered the board of directors of Apple were not very glorious, and they were regarded as appeasing him. Although this may be because Jobs recently planned to resign from the company due to health problems and let some people start to operate. Lei Jun believes that there is no smoke without fire. If Jess Zhou has not done anything, there will be no rumors. The two walked into the meeting with their own thoughts. Jess Zhou greeted warmly, as if the big brother was willing to come just to give face. Lei Jun also looked modest and timid. The hypocrisy and profit-seeking of businessmen, both inside and outside, seemed to be qualified. The two of them got to know each other quickly. After Lei Jun greeted the other people, she sat down with Zhao Jixi and said, Jess, why do you want to invest in our studio? Xylophone is still in the form of a studio. Several co-founders are still integrating resources step by step, thinking about how to make Xylophone more potential and make it bigger and stronger. Brother Jun, I've learned about Xylophone's mobile phone team. It's very good. I actually plan to create a mobile phone brand. You know I'm from Apple, but I'm not used to using Apple phones now. The screen is too small, which is not good. So I thought of making my own mobile phone, and when I asked about poaching, I happened to see your team in China. I'm very optimistic about your team. When it comes to investment, I trust my intuition more. The most prudent approach is to look at the people and the project first. Your team structure is very good, and Brother Jun, you are also a successful businessman. I'm very optimistic about your comeback this time. The most important thing is that Brother Jun, your starting point for making mobile phones is very good. Mobile phones are not the most important thing. The key is to use the mobile phone platform to sell software. In China, I only care about one thing, cost effectiveness. Zhao Jixi said to the founder of Xylophone. Lei Jun listened to Zhao Jixi's words and was also thinking whether he was a good choice. He didn't know from the beginning what Xylophone would achieve in the future. As a rational investor, he couldn't be like the protagonist in the novel. He would invest a large sum of money in a project at first sight, regardless of whether there would be any risks. He was more inclined to share the risk with multiple people at the beginning and start financing when it reached a certain level. Instead of putting the money in himself, Zhao Jixi seems to be a good target now. You do know our team, Jess. It seems that you think highly of us. Of course, I plan to contribute real money to you. If I don't know more, wouldn't the money be thrown around? Zhao Jixi looked at him and said confidently. Lei Jun suddenly thought of something and asked, do you still want to make mobile phones now? Zhao Jixi was puzzled. Why did he ask this? But he still said, of course, I'm still one of the shareholders of HTC. Smartphones are already a big trend, so take advantage of this opportunity to make more money. Of course I will still make mobile phones, but I will do it in a company in the United States. Unlike yours, I plan to make some high-end products for fun. I don't ask everyone to like them, as long as those who don't buy the right ones and only buy expensive ones like them. At least I have to make something I like. Zhou Jixi had a strong aura when he said this, and Lei Jun on the opposite side was a little impressed. Of course, he admired his spending. This model is completely opposite to what we have now, and there is Apple in the high-end mobile phone market. Do you think those Navo rich will definitely buy your mobile phones? Lei Jun has done market research on this matter, and it is impossible to be as simple as Zhou Jixi said. Zhou Jixi also noticed the look that flashed by him, and said with a smile, haha, I can still afford to lose millions of dollars. Try it first. He took a sip of the red wine on the table. It tasted ordinary, and was not a high-end product. Looking at Lei Jun, he continued, it's just like when I started a game company. I had a few ideas in my mind that I thought were very interesting. So I decided to make it. Later, I calculated that it only took a few $1,000,000 of investment, which was no problem at all. The worst that can happen is that I don't buy a luxury house or a luxury car. There won't be any burden at all. Lei Jun heard this and suddenly had some good feelings for this young man. At least he dared to do it, and was not the kind of rich man who lived a life of idleness and waiting for death. At this point, Zhou Jixi spoke with body movements, which seemed very domineering. Look at it now. Several of my games are already the most popular games on smart devices. My Sky game company has also been valued at more than $1 billion, which can bring me hundreds of thousands of US dollars in revenue every day, and this number is still growing. Look at Tomcat at the beginning. I came up with this idea when I saw a child's joking movements. So the game was made, and it became popular soon. But I think it can be more fun, and can carry more. So it became Tomcat now, with a market value of $1.5 billion some time ago. Now I have started the first round of financing, and I have priced it at $3 billion. Those people can come or not, but there are still many people who are eager to give me money. Lei Jun would be abnormal if he didn't admire him. After this young man told him about his two most praised company founding experiences, he just admired him, really admired him. Just to realize something brainy, he didn't care about spending millions of dollars, but in the end he succeeded. In 1 year, he earned much more than he had earned in these years. Brother, I can only say one word of admiration now, really, from the bottom of my heart. Lei Jun picked up a glass of wine and said to Zhou Jixi, let's go. The two drank a glass of wine. I'm a simple person. I will do it if I see it. Brother Jun, I'm very optimistic about your xylophone studio. I won't say much. Now you give me 30% of the shares. You can find my investment consultant to ask how much money you want. She will satisfy you. Jackie Zhou toasted him again. Chapter 820. Going to Korea for advertising placement. Lei Jun drank the wine and thought for a while. As long as you plan to raise funds, I can absorb some of the first and second rounds. In the future, my shares in the company will be mainly yours. You can rest assured about this. He looked at Lei Jun and said, I have always been an outsider in investment, and don't interfere with the insiders. Jess, you are a shareholder of Apple, the world's best mobile phone company. How can you be an outsider? You are also a shareholder of HC, which is very popular in Asia. On the contrary, I looked like an outsider. Lei Jun said this with a bitter smile. Zhou Jixi was immediately embarrassed by what he said. This is true. Compared with the person in front of him, he seems to be more knowledgeable. Haha. I'm confused, but I really don't know much about mobile phones. These are all handled by professionals. I can only give some creative ideas at most. Pa. Lei Jun clapped his hands. Brother, your creativity is what we want. The few things that come out of your brain are now worth billions of dollars. They are really valuable. Zhou Jixi agreed to join Xiaomi as a creative director after Lei Jun's words. He doesn't need to do anything at ordinary times. It's just a position. At least with him, it can attract a lot of people to pay attention to their Xiaomi studio. This is also Lei Jun's plan. It is indeed for this purpose to introduce Zhou Jixi, relying on him to attract media attention, and then to attract the attention of the public. And what our President Zhou thought in his heart was that his handsome appearance, standing with those stupid people, really feels good. Maybe in the future, we can select the most handsome representative of xylophone executives, and our role Zhou will also be responsible for the face for a while. The two chatted thoroughly and immediately became very happy. They didn't stop until the assistant brought another person. The person was the CEO of Jinxie, Liu Qiangxi. This young man looked like a dollar, and Lei Chun actually recognized him. He thought about it and understood. This circle is so small. According to the national conditions of China, there are meetings every year. How could they not know each other? After these three people joined, the chat became more cheerful. Zhou Jixi also took care of the depressed Sunny in time and suggested to the CEO of Jinxie that they could get a Korean actress as the spokesperson. It doesn't cost much. Recently, Jinxie often does product placement in urban dramas in China. Now that the Korean wave is so serious, it is right to do product placement in Korean movies and TV series. Don't you see how many women in China watch Korean dramas now? A large consumer group of online shopping is women who hold up half the sky. Zhao Jixi's words really made Liu Qiangxi listen. Yes, why must we only do product placement in China? Come back from abroad, wouldn't it make us look more international? He was a little excited when he thought of this question, but there were many other questions. Jess, your idea is really good, but we are unfamiliar with Korea, which is a bit difficult. You are not familiar with it, but I am. Zhao Jixi patted his chest and said, my godmother used to be one of the shareholders of the largest private TV station in Korea. Now she has given her shares to my brother. He is also a director in SBS. I will talk to him about this matter for you. Thank you so much. Liu Qiangxi said excitedly. It's a small matter. It's probably not easy for people who make TV dramas in Korea. I heard that they often owe actors salaries. Let's go there and give them money to spend. It would be strange if they are not happy. He turned around and said to Sunny, don't you think so? In order to take care of Sunny, Zhao Jixi suggested that everyone speak English. Most of these domestic internet people have been abroad. Speaking English is not a problem at all. Sunny looked at a few people and said, what Jessop said is true. When the funds of those TV stations are a little tight, they will indeed delay the salary. But I heard that SBS rarely has such a thing. They are a private TV station with strong financial strength. The people who were working there nodded. It's okay as long as there is a demand. We have money and connections, so why worry about not being able to get in? Sunny, have you filmed any TV series at SM? The girl looked at a few people and then slowly said, our company is not the most professional in TV series and movies, so it is considered a weakness of the company. She chose to tell the truth. After all, as a businessman, she didn't believe that these people would not make some inquiries. Oh. Zhao Jixi nodded, turned around and said to Liu Qiangxi, I will contact them tomorrow and call you then. That's really troublesome for you. Liu Qiangxi said. I also have shares in Jinxie now, and these things are all trivial matters. He said with a smile. He suddenly remembered this suggestion. He remembered that in his previous life, he seemed to have watched a Korean drama starring Jessica's younger sister Crystal and Jung Ji-hoon. In this TV series, he saw Jinx's product placement advertisement. The impression was quite deep. He thought that he could still remember this thing after his rebirth, not to mention the women who watched Korean dramas every day. So he suggested that Jinxie pay attention to Korean movies and TV shows earlier, which would indeed make more people remember Jinxie and help it expand rapidly so that he could earn more money. Later, many people came and he chatted with them one by one. Everyone was in the same industry and everyone had some exchanges at the table. At this time, the performance on the stage had begun. Everyone looked at it casually, but it was not very attractive, and polite chats became much more cautious. At least when talking, they still looked in the direction of the stage, but they talked about these topics. Zhao Jixi was no exception, and he and Sunny looked at each other and joked. Calling the girl over today really made her a little idle and bored, so she had to make up for it at this time. At least when the main creator went up again, Zhao Jixi's eyes widened. How could there be a woman on the stage that looked so familiar? That tall girl, wasn't she the woman who laughed at him on the plane? He looked at the name, Wu Peasy. Fuck, this woman is a star. What are you talking about? Sunny didn't understand what he said. They were still talking just now, so she didn't realize that Zhao Jixi had changed the topic. Oh, nothing. I just didn't expect to meet someone I know, Zhao Jixi said. The main creator's task has been almost completed. It has been almost 40 minutes at this time. Zhou Jinglui finally got free. The positions of several main creators were actually not far from them. This was also Zhou Jinglui's special arrangement. Zhao Jixi looked at the few people who came from afar. Zhou Jinglui walked first. Then several people sat in their seats. Just now, these people were either on the stage or in the backstage. They had never sat here before. "You are very beautiful on the stage," he said to the woman. "If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels." Chapter 821 Wu Peasy. "I'm not very pretty, the beauty next to me is pretty," Zhou Jinglui whispered, pouting at Wu Peasy. "That woman is not bad, but her cultivation is much worse than yours. He has never been a person who looks as generous as he looks. In other words, he looks generous on the outside, but his heart is not very big." When talking about this woman, his tone was a little sarcastic. Zhou Jinglui looked at Wu Peasy, then turned back to look at him. "What, are you guys having a little holiday?" "A little." Brother had a good rest on the plane, and when he woke up, he laughed at this woman. "Damn." Zhou Jinglui looked at him a little ridiculously and said, "You are a man, okay, don't be so stingy. Men can't be stingy. Men can't hold grudges." Zhao Jixi laughed as he said, "Don't worry, I just smiled in front of a woman and made many people laugh with me. I felt a little unhappy, but it's not as serious as you think." "You are a person, I shouldn't say that," she said. "Would you like me to introduce you to each other?" "No, I'm not interested." Zhao Jixi refused. As they were chatting, Wu Peasy looked over. The man's face seemed quite familiar. She thought about it and immediately remembered who it was. "Hey, sir, I didn't expect you to be here too. We are really destined to meet," the woman said happily. The two looked at Wu Peasy. Zhao Jixi paused for a moment before saying, "It's quite fate. I didn't expect that you are a star, miss. I really didn't expect it." "Pez, do you know Jess?" Zhou Jinglui pretended not to have heard of their unhappiness. "I had a little misunderstanding with this gentleman on the plane. I didn't expect to meet here again. Haha. It's really fate." Then she said to Zhao Jixi, "I'm really sorry about what happened on the plane. I'll drink first and apologize again." Then she drank a glass of red wine. Beauty and red wine are really a perfect match. Zhao Jixi looked at the woman's mouth and there were still drops of wine on the corners. With her white skin, it was really a temptation. Ms. Wu is really generous. "I don't mind what happened on the plane. Besides, you didn't mean it. How could I remember it?" Zhao Jixi said with a smile. "He looked very generous." Zhou Jinglui's eyes twitched when she heard it. This man is really an actor. Wu Peasy had already laughed in her heart. She already knew who this man was. Just now, many staff members were discussing that Lao Zhu walked the red carpet with the world-class rich man who was very popular recently. He was also the youngest rich man from the Celestial Empire. Having read magazines, she knew that the man was very good looking. When she saw Zhao Jixi's face just now, she immediately knew that this person was it. What a pity that she didn't recognize him when she was on the plane. It's really a pity. But it's not too late now. There were two other leading actors sitting on the main creative desk, Huang Lixing and Mo Wenwei. The woman was quite arrogant and ignored their topic. Huang Lixing looked at Zhao Jixi with a bit of complexity, especially when Lao Zhu chatted with him. With a bitter taste in his mouth, he drank a glass of red wine, but was not satisfied. He wanted to have another glass, but his agent who was not far away saw him and called him to stop him from drinking on the spot. If this was filmed, it would definitely take a while for the choreography to be arranged. Mo Wenwei also noticed this scene, but during the filming, her shots with these two people were not very many. It seemed that there was something going on between the two people on the set, but Zhou Jinglui looked so rational that it didn't seem like it. Now there was a man, so it might be that Huang Lixing was in love with her. "I heard that Mr. Zhao is one of the producers of our movie. We, the little actors, have to thank Mr. Zhao very much." Wu Peasy smiled and said in a humble manner. When she was clinking glasses with him, Zhao suddenly hooked her little finger with his palm. My heart suddenly felt warm. Is this the legendary unspoken rule? Is this woman trying to give me unspoken rules? Miss Wu, you are joking. I just paid a little money. It's nothing. He said modestly. Miss Wu, if you don't mind, call me Jess. We have met twice. Don't be so polite. This. Wu Peasy pretended to think about it, but in fact, he had already laughed in his heart. This man is indeed consistent in appearance and heart. He doesn't look like a loyal good man. I like my friends to call me by my name. Doesn't Miss Wu want to know me as a friend? Zhao Jixi gave her a way out and said. Vertical bar. The woman smiled charmingly. How could it be? It's my honor to know Mr. Zhao. Oh, no, it's my honor to know Jess. How could I not recognize you as a friend? Then it's settled. Come on, Peasy, clink one for our acquaintance. Zhao Jixi said with a glass. The two touched their glasses and smiled at each other, feeling a bit like an adulterer and a whore hooking up. Zhao Jixi was so bold to chat with her, or he took advantage of Zhu Jinglui, who happened to be called by Zhang Yibei to talk about something. Since the woman has left, no one will say anything wrong when they chat. Zhao Jixi is now an old hand in this area. He can take care of Sunny beside him and chat with Wu Peasy at the same time. The two quickly exchanged numbers. Zhao Jixi asked the woman to enter her number on his mobile phone. A woman can enter her number for a man, and the meaning is almost clear. To be honest, Zhao Jixi doesn't know this woman Wu Peasy very well. If he knew this woman in his previous life, maybe he wouldn't pounce on her now. This woman who claims to be able to pierce condoms. Every man has to be careful. The woman wants to pick up, but it will only be for a while. Zhao Jixi turned around and chatted with the guests he invited. Wu Peasy didn't know when she came to his side. The woman who is very good at chatting also talked a few words with Liu Kaiangxi, Lei Chun and others beside him. However, the two big guys will not snatch food from the tiger's mouth. Lei Chun is a great person who claims to be able to hug Teacher Kang and make the headlines. If there was a need for hype, he wouldn't mind doing something with this woman. Not only was there no need now, but his future partner seemed to have started hooking up with new girls after Zhu Jinglui left. He couldn't help but sigh that being young was great, but this woman seemed older than him, and that Zhu Jinglui. He had read the Forbes report. How old was Jay Chou? Zhu Jinglui aside, this woman seemed to be in her early 30s. He didn't say these questions and curiosities. Chapter 822, Women's Heart. The premiere in the evening was very successful and the effect was very good. There were many hot spots for hype, such as the arrival of Jay Chou and his relationship with Zhu Jinglui. There was also the Korean female idol, and the group of internet tycoons behind her. The world elites came here, which also surprised the reporters. After the show, Jay Chou also saw off the guests. There was another round of flashes. You can never underestimate the curiosity of reporters. This time he just smiled and remained polite, but did not answer anything. Zhu Jinglui had a lot of things to do. At least when he could leave, she couldn't leave. As the director and the leading actor, it seemed that she had a lot of things to do. The other leading actors and supporting actors didn't have so many things to do. Wu Peasy just asked if they could have a drink later. Jay Chou looked at Sunny beside him and could only refuse with regret. The woman smiled without minding and said that she would be free anytime next time she called to make an appointment. Jay Chou nodded, hugged her briefly, and left with Sunny first. Wu Peasy and her agent got into her nanny car. They didn't talk on the way, just looking at her phone and thinking about something. Suddenly, her phone rang. After checking the phone number, she picked up the phone. Mr. G, why didn't I see you at the premiere today? I have something to do today. Please say sorry to Jinglui for me next time. The man paused and said, Peasy, are you free tonight? Let's go out for a drink together. I'm so sorry, Mr. G. I've already made an appointment with a friend. I'm so sorry, Wu Peasy said. The man on the other side was stunned. This woman actually rejected him? When he was chasing Zhu Jinglui, this woman seemed to be interested in him. Why did she change now? That's okay. Since we have made an appointment, I won't bother you. Have fun and call me if you have anything. Haha, okay, then Mr. G, you go first. Whoopsie said and hung up the phone, smiled disdainfully, and threw the phone to the right. The man put down the phone. He was really unlucky recently. He was rejected by Zhou before, and he was embarrassed to attend any premiere. This time, he borrowed the office building for them to shoot a movie for nothing. Fortunately, he got some money back. Otherwise, he would have lost more than he gained. He was thinking that he might be able to play with Whoopsie. This woman was a little too calculating, so he didn't dare to do it at first. Women are easy for him to pick up, but if they are not easy to get rid of, it's meaningless. In his opinion, Whoopsie is not so easy to get rid of. But this time he was really a little depressed. Huang Yi had taught him a lesson before. When a woman goes crazy, she must not be underestimated. I'm really unlucky today, he muttered unhappily, still confused in his heart. It wasn't until he saw the newspaper tomorrow that he understood why. The agent was sitting in the seat in front of Whoopsie. She knew about her own artist, but she was hired by Whoopsie to take care of her affairs. She was not the kind of agent with control. Not only did she have to arrange Whoopsie's affairs, but she also had to serve this woman well. Sister Chen, help me check that girl's generation, Whoopsie suddenly said from behind. Oh, Oklahoma, okay. The agent responded quickly. After a while, the agent gave her the information. The woman looked at the information on her phone and said, there is a concert in Shanghai, so I have to go to Shanghai this time to take a look. She also had some plans in her mind. It didn't matter if this man didn't marry her. She was already at this age. If she couldn't find a good husband, she would have to find a rich father. She was in her 30s and was no longer young. In the entertainment industry, she was considered old. If she wanted to find a rich man to marry at this age, it would be almost impossible. Rich people don't find some little girls, but come to her to marry. Most of them are just playing with her. She basically has no hope of marrying such people. But if she marries those who don't have much money, she will be even more unwilling. Now she can still make some money to enjoy her life. As she gets older, it will only become more and more difficult to make money. If she has a singing voice, she can also be said to be a powerful singer and can still make a living in the future. But does she have it? No. Now she is just a vase in acting. The real actors are far behind her, but she can't be a vase for long. Besides, she is not the best vase. Only when she becomes a vase like Ling Xiling can she have a good meal. Unfortunately, she can't do this. The best plan is to find a rich man to give birth to a child for him while she is not too old to attract men. Even if he can't marry her, he should pay some alimony for the child, right? When the child is young, he needs to be supported. When the child grows up, even if he can't inherit all the property, he will always inherit some. She originally thought that Ji Xiaobo was not bad, even though he was pursuing Zhu Jinglei at that time, who was still a famous playboy in the circle. But at least he looks good and has a rich family. He is a playboy, but has no children. If a man of this age doesn't have children, he probably doesn't want to settle down. If she has a child, maybe she can force him to abdicate. It doesn't matter if he fails. He has no children, so he has to recognize the child. When the time comes, she will hold a press conference, and everything will be settled. Sometimes women have to be ruthless, not only to others, but also to themselves. Plans can never keep up with changes, and today another man caught her eye. Comparing Zhao Jixi with Ji Xiaobo, gold really has to turn into dog shit. Suddenly, she didn't even want to answer Ji Xiaobo's call, and she was thinking about how to hook up with Zhao Jixi. Women are sometimes very bitter, and she doesn't want to live a bitter life. She knows what kind of life those outdated female stars in Hong Kong and Taiwan live. She is used to a luxurious life, and the money she has can't withstand her spending for a few years. It is an indisputable fact that her money will become more and more difficult to earn in the future. Once a woman is outdated and has no money, she will only become uglier and uglier. Only rich women can guarantee their beauty. Even if they have to wash clothes and cook, they can go for spa maintenance later. And women without money have to think about how to make money to support their families. Firewood, rice, oil, salt, sauce, vinegar, and tea have to be calculated one by one, and that is not the life she wants. Think about the contrast between Vivian Chao and Anita Mui. One is still beautiful, while the other has become an old lady. Compare with another woman. She gave birth to a little dragon girl for Qinglong, a big brother in the film and television industry. Even though she is old and ugly now, she still lives the life of a Filipino maid in a mansion. The big brother said to the public that he had already made a will and left all the money to his wife and son. In fact, everyone knows that he left some company shares and foundation funds to them. It ensures that they will have a worry-free life in this life, and his wife almost acquiesces to this. Women have to see the situation clearly. If these female stars can't marry rich people and can't become rich themselves, they have to think about retreat quickly. Especially at her age, she is really neither high nor low. She is not as talented as Zhou Jinglei. To put it bluntly, she relies on her face and figure to make a living. After thinking a lot, she started looking for a way out, since she had a cold war with her Malaysian boyfriend. The man clearly didn't want to get married, so it would be really difficult to get into a rich family again. Zhao Jixi. Wu Peasy muttered the name softly, thinking back to his appearance. To be honest, he was really good looking. He was much more handsome than the men she knew and dated before, but she was much older than him. The woman was thinking about Zhao Jixi. Zhao Jixi took Sunny to eat. Sunny didn't eat much just now. Although the food on the table was good, she didn't eat much in a place with so many reporters. He took Sunny to a place where Zhang Yi had taken him before to eat something. The reporters behind him had long been shaken off by the bodyguards. After changing to cars, the reporters didn't know whether he was in the car or where he went. Anyway, they were eating here now, and no reporter would know. Op, this meat is delicious. Do you want to try it? Sunny then gave Zhao Jixi a piece of sweet and sour pork ribs. Zhao Jixi opened his mouth and bit into it, his lips still touching Sunny's chopsticks. The girl looked at her, and her face suddenly turned red. She thought that when she ate, it seemed to be in her mouth. This can be considered an indirect kiss, right? But why does my face feel hot? Sunny pretended to be calm, and touched her face. Sunny, what are you in a daze about? If you don't eat it, I'll eat it all. Jay Chou patted her head and said. Sunny came back to her senses, and looked at Jay Chou, and then looked at the plate on the table. There were already several pieces of meat missing. Op, how can you eat so fast? It's almost gone. The girl complained to him coquettishly. It's okay. If you like, have another plate and we'll eat slowly. Today, Op promises to let you eat enough. The recent concert rehearsals are so tiring, so you have to eat more, he said and picked up a piece for Sunny. The girl's heart beat faster, and her mind was thinking wildly, this seems to be Op's chopsticks. He just put it in his mouth. Just now he ate my chopsticks, which was an indirect kiss. Now I'm eating his chopsticks again. Does that count as us kissing? My hands are sore from holding them. Why are you still in a daze? Jackie Zhao looked at Sunny ridiculously, with a look of suspicion on his face. Sunny said nothing, and bit the meat into her mouth. Her ears slowly became hot, because of the meat. She picked up the drink beside her, and took a few sips. She still felt unsatisfied, so she poured another glass and continued drinking. She glanced at JC Zhao secretly under her bangs, and seeing that he seemed to be looking over at her, Sunny quickly lowered her head, and continued to find food to eat. Chapter 823 The second day. As expected, the news on the second day, Jay Chou was on the headlines again. The scandal between Zhou Jinglei and him was also hyped up, and the people who came were not from the ad industry, but they were also reported. After these entertainment media reported it, it played a good role in promoting Zhou Jinglei's movie. Jay Chou, her and Sunny's photos on the red carpet are now posted on various websites. Many netizens were really surprised to see Girls' Generation. Unexpectedly, Sunny was actually related to Jay Chou, which obviously led to another thing. Originally, everyone said that Sunny had a deep background. The background was the founder of SM Company and the current director Lee Soo-man, who was her uncle. At that time, many people thought that this girl was very powerful, but who knew that this was just the tip of the iceberg. Damn, now look, she is actually related to a world-class rich man, which is really surprising. Following these rumors and speculations, there are still rumors. It was still Jay Chou's. Now many netizens and the public in China have become accustomed to this highly exposed rich man. It seems that they can see him having a scandal with someone at any time. They are all female stars. Everyone is really envious and jealous. This young, rich and handsome guy is really hated. Wu Peasy has a scandal with him again. A farewell hug between the two was used as evidence of their hookup at night. The description on it is quite interesting. Jay Chou didn't know what he felt after seeing it. Ji Xiaobo, who wanted to pursue Wu Peasy last night, figured out why. Want to climb higher branches, haha. He sneered while watching the news. Really a realistic woman, he said, looking at the blurred hugging photo of the two in the computer. Needless to say, he was holding his breath. He was rejected by Zhou Jinglai, and then this woman followed a man who was better than him. Today, it is obvious that Zhou Jinglai has had a scandal with him, and now even his spare tire has been pried off by Jay Chou. She really wanted to beat up the man on the screen. Damn, he's rich and handsome. Aren't you afraid of being struck by lightning? She said, pointing her right index finger at Jay Chou's head portrait. Many people watch the news. When Wu Peasy got up in the morning to exercise, she was watching the news. Seeing that the photo of her hugging Jay Chou was also on the news, she was suddenly much happier. With the first step, if there is anything to say next, at least it won't be too sudden. In a good mood, she felt like rewarding herself with a little more callaloo today. Jay Chou's third and fourth sisters saw their brother when they opened the web page. Just by looking at the report, why do they think this guy is really a scumbag? He has been having scandals with 3 girls. The foreign girl in front, named Taylor, seems to have only been there a few days ago. Zhang Ziyi, who is a little ahead, hasn't been there for long, right? Why is there a new girl in the past 2 days? The third sister wanted to call and ask, what the hell is this brother up to? In the end, he was stopped by the fourth sister. There is probably not much explanation for this situation. Zhao Jixi is a typical example of what it means to have hardened wings. He wants to fly freely. What does it look like? Sunny is on the afternoon flight. Zhao Jixi personally saw her off the plane. The two of them were still a little ambiguous last night. After returning to the hotel, they went to their own rooms. They didn't do the good thing of rolling in the sheets. Last night, he secretly rolled in the sheets with Zhou Jinglai, who came back at night. It happened to be a movie. He saw her appear outside the screen, which made him even more angry. The two of them were very shameless at night. This should be praised for the good sound insulation of the hotel. The two of them were so loud, but no one around them heard it. The most important thing is that Sunny didn't hear it. This is the most important thing. Even if she seems to know some of his scandals, but the girl didn't ask, he certainly wouldn't tell her anything. After more than 3 hours of flight, Sunny finally got off. But after getting off the plane, he was scared by the scene in the airport. Her schedule was simple, but she was caught by reporters as soon as she got off the plane. They kept asking her about what happened last night. What was her relationship with Jay Chou? This was the first time that the girl was surrounded by such a large group of reporters in China. There weren't so many when there were 9 people before. Now that she was alone, there were so many. She was really happy. She tried to be careful when talking about the premiere last night and Jay Chou. She spoke very quickly to avoid saying the wrong thing. Zhanghe was the city where they were having their concert, and the girls were very popular in recent days. There were many people from other places who planned to come to Zhanghe to watch their concert. When several of them were having trouble practicing, they just knew that Sunny would appear at the airport. Originally, this girl didn't have that much popularity, but because of the activities last night, many fans thought she was closer to China. At least they could see her at the activities in China, and the reports were all on the headlines. In addition to the reporters, many of her fans also came. This also made the scene quite crowded. The agent arranged people to come as soon as he received the call. Sunny was delayed at the airport for more than half an hour before she managed to get out. She finally breathed a sigh of relief when she returned to Zhanghe Hotel. But it was just a small sigh because her sisters were waiting for her. The girls were full of youthful charm, and they were all wearing sportswear with a lot of sweat stains on their clothes. It seemed that they were practicing very hard. Yuri was a little unhappy. Sunny went to Jay Chou's place yesterday, and today she saw the report that Yuna gave her. She walked hand in hand with Jay Chou so gracefully, which made the girl jealous and envious. Hey, I'm so sorry, I just got back now. Sunny stood up and apologized to the team members who were still practicing. Although everyone had a good relationship, they still had to have the right attitude. Sunny, you were really amazing today. I heard that there were a lot of reporters waiting for you at the airport today, and there were also fans who went to pick you up to see you, Yuna said to Sunny with envy on her face. My manager Oppa said that the premiere of the movie I attended yesterday attracted a lot of attention. Most of them asked about Jessica Oppa, and there were not many people asking about my concert. Sunny was a little depressed when she said this. Several girls were a little complicated, especially Jessica and Yuna. They used to be the most popular among the sisters, but they didn't expect that in just one night, their fans in China would immediately surpass them. On Tomcat, Sunny's fans are increasing, and the speed is really a lot, and it's very fast. Chapter 824, updated late, Zhou Yao has a stomach flu. PS, this disease is really troublesome. It has all the symptoms of a cold, and some that a cold doesn't have. I almost got dysentery because of my stomach ache. I don't know if the doctor was just trying to scare me. Today I went to a conscientious hospital recommended by a friend. Compared with other places where you get in fourth drip right away, at least they did some tests. I got 4 bottles of fourth drip for 2 days, and the price was very cheap, only 125 RMB. Damn, the last few times I went to other places, they prescribed 3 days of medicine without any tests and charged me more than 350. Another time it wasn't effective, so I went to another hospital and spent more than 500. Today's hospitals are really fucked up. Annie, if you continue like this, won't you be able to make it in the film and television industry in China? Tiffany looked at Sunny and said, Annie, you must take me with you when the time comes. The little girl said, nudging Sunny in a sticky way. This was a trick Sunny usually used, but she didn't expect that this time it would be used on her. She let her sisters nuzzle her with a helpless look on her face, and had to be prepared for some bad actions from these people. Annie, I want one too. Annie. Sunny, don't abandon me. Annie, yours is really big, I'm so sad. The girls' conversation gradually went off topic. When Yuna was talking to Sunny, she put her face against those 2 big white rabbits, rubbing them, which were soft and elastic. Seeing such a loving scene, Tian couldn't help but get excited. She licked her dry lips and looked at them with shining eyes. Me too. Try it. I'll try it too. The perverted Tian immediately stood up and responded regardless of the topic. Ah, female hooligan. Sunny's voice began to echo in the room. This time, not only the big white rabbits were attacked, but also the 2 nipples were played with by someone. The bra had been pushed off by someone's hand a long time ago. She believed that except for Sia Hyan, these female hooligans must have taken advantage of her. She was really a person of bad character. She liked to touch others, but now she was really touched back by others. Oppa, help. Sunny shouted in her heart. Another sentence she didn't even dare to shout out in her heart was, I might as well let Oppa touch it. Girls. Mr. Zhou, who was far away in the capital, didn't know the depression in the hearts of the girls this time. He was chatting with Wu PC who had asked him out. The woman was very tall, unlike ordinary models, who only had a good figure, but no big breasts and hips. Wu PC was indeed known as the 9-headed beauty. Not only was her figure first class, but her 2 long legs made it easy for Zhao Jixi to fantasize about her. With her beautiful hips, if she lay in front of him, her hip curve must be plump, and it would be easy to roll up her hips when she slapped her. My little brother was not long enough, and he could never enjoy the beauty brought by her crawling from behind. There was also the position of woman on top and man on bottom, with the woman sitting on top and shaking. Her breasts were also very beautiful, and with her plump hips, she would never let you feel uncomfortable touching your bones. He was already imagining things. This was brought about by women's seduction. When women took the initiative, men would always think about how to cook this piece of beautiful meat in their mouths. Of course, a good chef must be a little patient and a gentleman. Pace, what would you like to eat? Jay Chow asked her to sit down. Pace Wu put down her small bag and sat sideways, showing off her long and graceful legs. Even though she was wrapped in pants at this time, the style of the pencil pants also showed off her good looks, slender but fleshy. Looking at the woman's face, Jay Chou could guess that the woman's skin was also very rosy. After the woman sat down, she looked at him with interest. A cup of coffee. 2 cups of coffee, thank you. Jay Chou said to the waiter next to him. Okay, sir, please wait a moment. The waiter said politely, and when he left, he secretly glanced at Pei Wu. After she came in, she took off her coat. Now the close-fitting clothes better showed off her figure in those 2 peaks. The male waiter couldn't help but swallow secretly. Pace looks very charming today. Thank you. The woman smiled gracefully. Zhao Jixi smiled to ease his inner embarrassment. The dialogue mode was not what he imagined, so he had to change the way to deal with this woman. Yesterday's premiere seemed very successful. I looked at the newspaper today, and it made a lot of headlines. Jess, are you talking about yourself? The woman showed a mischievous expression on her face. All I see are articles about you and reports about you. It seems that our movie is about to become your foil. The coffee came up soon. Zhao Jixi didn't need a waiter to come. He took the coffee cup and handed it to the woman. The slight touch of the fingers was a little stimulating. This would be the first step in cooking. He secretly said in his heart that women, especially mature women, look like delicacies. If he touched, pinched, and slapped them, he could imagine how enjoyable it would be. Especially the woman also had a pair of long legs. The picture in his mind instantly changed to a bedroom. The woman was cross-legged on his body, moaning and panting, and slapping. Oh. Jess Zhou exclaimed softly, looking at the woman's pretty face. I remember there seemed to be news about you and Pez. Speaking of which, the final farewell hug was also hyped up as a scandal by these reporters. I wonder if it will have a bad impact on you? How could that be? Speaking of which, it's really my fault that I can make headlines with you, Jess. The woman said, after taking a sip of coffee elegantly. No, we are not taking advantage of anyone in this matter of making money from scandals. Zhao Jixi said. Suddenly, not knowing if it was intentional or not, his foot was touched by the woman. From a physical point of view, it was just that Wu Peasy crossed her legs under the table with one foot. However, the tip of the high heel gently brushed across his calf, bringing a slight stimulation and tingling. The woman's face, the woman's movements, the woman flicking her hair, all expressed the 2 words temptation in his mind. The 2 drank a cup of coffee for more than an hour. Zhao Jixi and Wu Peasy spent the following time. The man and the woman were interested, and they chatted about some humorous topics. The smiling woman didn't know how attractive her trembling chest was. In her opinion, their feet that were teasing under her feet were the main cause of the ambiguity. Language has nothing to do with ambiguity, but the body does. It brings a lot of stimulation to men. Men are cats, so there is nothing that does not eat fish. If he hadn't fallen for this, Jay Chou would have left long ago. Why did he keep flirting with her while talking to her? Since Wu Peasy has made a plan, she will take action. Taking the initiative has both advantages and disadvantages for women. It depends on what the man opposite thinks. What's more, for her, this matter doesn't actually cause much loss. The man is unmarried, and the woman is unmarried. It's normal for them to be ambiguous and happy together. Jay Chou was a little dissatisfied with this kind of chat. The woman teased his feet and clamped them. He reached down and easily grabbed her feet. She had taken off her high heels and only wore black stockings on her feet. With the black pencil pants, it complemented each other. There was a special feeling when touching the feet in stockings. He didn't have a foot fetish or a stockings fetish. It was just that according to the facts, it felt really good to touch like this, especially when the woman didn't retract her feet. The thumb was still teasing the soft flesh on the inside of his thigh, but he didn't move forward. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called ambiguity, it would be called a green tea bitch. The advantages of long legs are obvious here, and she didn't seem to be struggling at all when she stretched out to his chair. Zhao Jixi estimated that this woman's flexibility is still quite good, and maybe she can do the legendary splits. I've never enjoyed the splits before. The lack of enjoyment didn't stop him from imagining what it would be like. A woman's thighs standing up to do the splits, with her feet on his shoulders, and his little brother going in and out, and he could still enjoy the long legs. Sitting or lying down, you can do the splits, especially I don't know if Wu Peasy has a lot of hair. If not much, the open legs can show off her beautiful pussy. If there is a lot of hair, then you have to consider whether you need to shave her head. The seductive teasing in Wu Pease's eyes and the strong momentum in Zhao Jix's hands. They hooked up naturally, but it was still in public, so he couldn't do anything affectionate. He still had to save face. At least this matter couldn't be photographed and reported to the media. Last time, the kissing photo with Zhang Ziyi was reported to the media, which made him unable to defend himself. He had to say something like, "Whether you believe it or not, I believe it anyway." This time, he just ended the scandal with Taylor and started the scandal with Zhou Jinglei, but he was photographed kissing Wu Peasy in public again. Although he doesn't mind wearing the hat of a playboy, it is better not to wear it if he can avoid it. This fame has both advantages and disadvantages. The advantages, that some women in need will automatically pounce on you, and you don't have to waste time with you. The disadvantage is also obvious, which will prevent him from picking up girls in the future. At least with the name of a playboy, it is obvious that he has to spend more effort to pick up girls. What would you like to eat this afternoon? He looked at the coffee in front of them. We can't just keep drinking coffee, can we? The woman had already retracted her feet at this time. I know a good private restaurant. It was recommended by Prince Fang before. The taste is really good. Why don't we go and try it together? They mainly serve southern cuisine. We should like it more, right? Of course, I'm from the south. As long as we don't eat seafood in the north, other dishes should be pretty good. Zhao Jixi nodded and said he would have to think twice before eating seafood in a big hotel in the north, let alone a private restaurant. Without a good logistics support, eating seafood in the north is really ordinary. In particular, he is quite picky about the taste of seafood. No matter how good the chef's skills are, sometimes the freshness will be lost on the way. For him, the best way to eat seafood is to eat it in its original flavor. Steaming or boiling is his favorite way to eat seafood. Dipping it in soy sauce or other sauces after it is cooked is definitely a great enjoyment. By the way, does Pez know Prince Fang? Jay Chou was quite curious about this. He liked his dad very much and was quite envious. The most important thing was that in later generations, people on the internet always criticized Big Brother for being too fond of female stars. As for whether it was true or not, it was obviously a matter of opinion. Jay Chou envied him simply because he could embrace most female stars. Chapter 825, Encounter. Wu Peasy was a little strange. Zhao Jixi was curious about what Fang Tazi was doing, but she still explained, I met him when we were filming Chasing Shadows. There was also that Big Brother Wu and Xina. They were all quite fun. To be honest, she was just talking. She was just a vase character. Wu Zhengai was quite polite to others. Xina was hospitable and easy to get along with. This might be related to the fact that she was a host, but compared with her good figure, she was repulsive. Fang Tazi looked like an honest man, but he was just looking at her. A man born in the United States, he had learned all the bad habits of the Americans. Sometimes he was also a playboy, but this person liked to play with young girls. She was just an acquaintance and had dinner with him a few times. Oh. Zhao Jixi nodded. Fang Tazi liked to smoke marijuana, which was not known until 2014. Now I'm just a little curious about who this person's marijuana friends are. To be honest, smoking marijuana is not a big deal in the United States. Basically, all social groups have a history of smoking marijuana, but it's different in China. He was unlucky and brought this upon himself. He came to China to smoke. He really didn't care about his life and reputation. Haha, I just watched one of his movies a while ago and found that this guy's nose is really similar to his father's. It's quite interesting. Zhao Jixi said casually. Women obviously like to talk about this, especially gossip about other people. I think so too. You know, when we were filming, I saw his big nose, and I don't know why, I always wanted to laugh. Haha, really? Zhao Jixi also laughed and almost spit out coffee. I think that big nose looks really suitable on his father. But when it comes to him, I always feel a little bit out of place. Yes, that's the feeling. Wu Peasy felt as if she had touched her heart, and Zhao Jixi expressed what she wanted to say at once. Haha. The two people who had been away from this episode got in the car. The driver was a bodyguard. Although he didn't know much about the road conditions in the capital, fortunately there was a navigation system. Following Wu Peasy's instructions, they were finally sent to the private restaurant, Qiu's Cuisine. Zhao Jixi followed Wu Peasy to a small alley where cars couldn't get in. The two could only walk here. One advantage is that the car was waiting in the alley. After the two people were dropped off, the people behind couldn't get in. The car didn't drive away until the two people were safely in. This still looks very hidden. Even if there are reporters, they can't take pictures of them. Zhao Jixi knew why there would be stars coming to this private restaurant without a parking lot as soon as he saw the environment. Pushing the door in was a girl wearing a cheongsam-like blue and white porcelain. "Hello, Miss Wu, your room is in the blue and white elegant room upstairs." The girl looked pretty good, at least she could still attract people's attention on the street. Zhao Jixi was talking about the woman's beautiful buttocks, which were round and plump, and she wanted to pat them when she saw people. The tightly clamped legs also make men very appetizing. But compared with the women around him, this waiter is just a side dish. The kind that Zhao Jixi would not pick, even if he had time. If a woman pounced on him, or it was dark, he might consider it. Following the waiter, his eyes were mostly on the buttocks of the two women. Just looking at it for a while, he felt that something was wrong with himself today. It seems that he has become more and more thinking about things in bed, and being teased by this woman made him quite uneasy. Now when he walks, his little brother still feels a little big, but not firm. Otherwise, he can only walk with his waist bent. The layout of the private restaurant is still bright, with a bit of ancient flavor, but not losing the modern style, just like the cheongsam on the waiter, bright but with a historical flavor. The two people were one in front and one behind. Wu Peasy was mainly here before, so she didn't have such a fresh impression of their layout. Zhao Jixi came here for the first time, and he looked here and there, which slowed down his pace. This was also the reason why he could look at the beautiful buttocks of the two women with nice buttocks from behind, and then look at the surrounding buildings full of design. Their restaurant does not have a lobby or a living room, but only private rooms, and it seems that there are not many private rooms. Just at this time, another private room nearby opened, and several people walked out. Zhao Jixi looked, and saw that it was someone he knew. Of course, this refers to people he knew. If they had not seen newspapers or magazines, they would definitely not know him. Several men walked out of the room, one short and one not too tall, but among these people, they were pretty good. Huang Bo is also a very famous star this year. The person with him is director Eli Heo and several other people. He saw that there were indeed some people he knew. The fat guy was Du Haiteo from Mango TV. There was another woman he also knew, Huang Yi, who had been in a mess with her ex-boyfriend and ex-husband in her previous life. This woman is really a freak. Her affairs with her husband can be turned into a bloody drama on Weibo. Zhao Jixi didn't know the other people. They might be less famous stars, or directors and people behind the scenes. But just seeing these three people together, he knew why they were here. It was probably about the movie called Radish. As for why Eli Heo appeared here, Zhao Jixi could only say that he didn't know. This movie was not directed by him. He appeared here because Huang Bo hosted the guests and asked his friends to accompany him. He had watched it in his previous life. Huang Bo liked it very much. The movies he made were also very pleasing. In the end, he went to watch this movie. I can't say I was disappointed, but I wouldn't be satisfied either. I bought the movie ticket at the group purchase price of 20 yuan. I watched it after watching it. I think it was worth the money. At least I only spent 20 yuan instead of more than 40 yuan. If it was that much, Zhao Jixi would definitely regret it in his previous life. I would go to the website to criticize these people. Jess? Wu Peasy asked, looking back at Zhao Jixi who was thinking about something. Zhao Jixi met her eyes and smiled. Oh, I just saw a very interesting place, and was a little dazed. Your home decoration style is good. If I open a Baozi Wang chain store in China in the future, I can learn from your style here. He smiled and looked at the waitress and said, by the way, who designed your home? Please help ask and tell me later. Although his tone was a bit unacceptable, it was not annoying. And that expression, it looked like he would give you benefits. When Zhao Jixi said this, he looked up and exchanged glances with the people over there. Du Haiteo seemed to recognize who the woman next to him was, but he didn't say anything. After taking a look, he stopped staring. Huang Yi looked at Zhao Jixi, and he didn't know what he was thinking. The group passed by without saying anything, but just left some smiles for each other. It was not until Zhao Jixi and others went in that Du Haiteo, the little eyes, spoke. Brother Huang, do you know who the woman who just came in is? Huang Bo put his arms around his neck. There are so many beauties in the world, how can I know them all? He paused and said, but from her tone, it sounds like she is Taiwanese, so she should be from Taiwan. But to say who it is, you have to ask Zhou Huang. She is from Taiwan, so she knows better. Several people looked at Huang Yi. This woman's temper is not very good, but at least it is not bad. At least sometimes it makes people feel a little artificial. Fortunately, this small shortcoming does not hurt the man's self-esteem, and it does not attract everyone's dislike. In other words, Du Haiteo and Huang Yi are acting opposite each other, so he knows more about this woman. Everyone also remained polite, and did not dare to make close friends. In addition, she is a big star after all, and they did not plan to make close friends with this host. Huang Bo has won the Golden Horse Award after all, and now he is a big star after all. Huang Yi is still very polite to this man. He is not a friend, but also an acquaintance. That woman is easy to recognize. She is Wu Peasy, who has been promoting in the capital recently. Huang Yi said this while looking at the direction of the director and Huang Bo. Du Haiteo was ignored. But she is nothing. People have to put themselves in the right position. When he was in school, this woman was already a star. Now he is a host, and she is still a star. If you are not a celebrity, you have to behave like one. Don't pay attention to some details. In the real circle, if you are too serious, you will lose. But do you know who that man is? Huang Yi said with suspense. That man looks quite young. That face looks like a face that can eat. As for who he is, I really don't know him. Huang Bo said, after thinking for a while. I don't know him either. Eniheo also said that he has no time to pay attention to any gossip recently. You are really out of date. Eniheo's wife smiled and joked with her husband. Do you know my wife? Sister-in-law? Then you should tell me quickly. Zhou Huang is keeping us on the edge of our seats. We really can't let her have her way. Huang Bo made a joke about Huang Yi, which made the woman slap him in anger. But she really didn't say it. She is the wife of Ning Heo, the director's wife. There might be opportunities for cooperation in the future, so of course she has to give her some face. Didn't Forbes report recently that there is a billionaire with a net worth of $9.5 billion US? He is the youngest billionaire in the world. Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook is not as good as him. Women always like to pay attention to gossip. Chapter 826. Oh my god, US dollars, 9.5 billion. Huang Bo was shocked by this number. People without money can't imagine what it would be like to have such money. Only rich people know what it would be like to have so much assets. That's not much richer than the richest man in our mainland. Although Niheo didn't know anything else, he knew this. That's because the three people in Hong Kong suppressed him. Otherwise, the richest Chinese in the newspaper might have been this young man. Niheo's wife said, oh my god, he doesn't look much older than me, but he is so awesome. Du Haiteo felt incredible when he heard it. He turned around and wanted to see what the rich man with tens of billions of RMB looked like, but he had already walked in. He usually thought that he was already good enough to be like this, but compared with this rich man, he really eats shit. He is so rich, and he has nothing to do with us. Niheo waved his hand and said, how come he has no connection? He has many screens in the south, and cinemas in Beijing, Shanghai and Guangzhou. He also invests in movies. He is one of the investors in Zhu Jingluo's movie. Niheo's wife said, and the cinemas under his control in the south have arranged good screenings for Zhu Jingluo. In the afternoon, this matter had already spread on the internet. Don't let you think that the people of China Film will let him take up an extra share. He who runs a cinema really has something to do with us. Niheo muttered, rolling his eyes twice, not knowing what he was thinking. Du Haiteo and Huang Bo got together, and the two of them thought of the woman who had just followed them in. Wu Peasy. Brother, the tastes of the rich nowadays are really different. That woman seems to be a bit old. 7 or 8 years old. Huang Yi had sharp ears and heard Du Haiteo's words from the side. This Zhou is only in his 20s. Gosh, his taste is quite strong. Huang Bo couldn't help but sigh. But Pace Wu is not bad looking. She is still very attractive to young people. You don't know. Now in the circle, everyone is saying that this man prefers mature women. Nikki Hilton, Zhang Ziyi, Zhu Jinglei. Now that I see this Pace Wu, I believe it. Huang Yi's face really feels this way. Oh. Haha. This man is a bit eccentric. Huang Bo said, but his eyes glanced at Huang Yi. The woman was a little distracted, and he didn't know what she was planning. But he did have the intention of getting to know this man, and he still had the burden of opening a studio by himself. What's more, if he knew a powerful investor, he could attract investment for the movies he wanted to shoot in the future, and he would have more say in that series, right? Brother Huang, is this that potential? Du Haiteo said softly, but he was interrupted before he finished. This matter is not our business. In the industry, the most taboo is to be nosy and talk too much. Say less, no one will think you are dumb. Huang Bo patted Du Haiteo on the shoulder and said, this is the experience summarized by my brother over the years. For these problems, your teacher, he is a great man. Learn more from him when you have time. Du Haiteo listened obediently with an educational tone. Who said that he is a big shot? He can't afford to offend such a person, and there is no need to offend him. As a junior, he is not a big shot, and he is also a host. It is right to make friends with people. Oh, I know. Thank you, brother Huang. Du Haiteo pretended to be honest. In the industry, the most taboo is to talk too much. I have only understood it for a few years. You may not understand it now, but you will understand it in the future. Huang Bo said nothing more to this young man. If everyone was not here today, if the things Du Haiteo said were spread out and implicated everyone, he would not say anything to others. If someone listens to what you said, he will be grateful to you and think that you have chosen him on the road of life. If someone doesn't listen to it, he will think that you are a big shot and are just teaching him a lesson for fun. This is what the sayings on Yananaya means. Several people had already eaten and drunk enough and went out. Their assistants also drove the car to the entrance of the alley. They got into the car one after another. Several of them were thinking about something, and they were also thinking about whether to find some connections to get to know that man. Zhao Jixi and Wu Pc entered the box, and they were also thinking about Huang Bo. This man will guarantee the box office in China in the future. Maybe I can invest a little in the movie that hit the box office in the National Day 2 years ago. In this way, I can make some money from the theater chain, another from the theater, and another from the investment share. It may be possible to give him a few 100 million RMB. It seems that I should find someone to get to know this Huang Bo tomorrow. What are you thinking about? Wu Pc took the teapot from the waiter and poured a cup for Zhao Jixi and asked. The man just now seems to be the Golden Horse film emperor last year, right? He said. You mean that Huang Bo? Well, he doesn't look that good. It's a miracle that he can become like this. Zhao Jixi grabbed her hand and said while looking at the woman's face. Wu Pc didn't pull her hand out, but scratched his palm with her little finger teasingly. Sometimes it's enviable for a male actor to be famous, even though he looks like that. He might even envy your beauty. Zhao Jixi said. Look at your delicate jade fingers. White, tender, and smooth. This is what really pleases people. Zhao Jixi took her palm and teased her fingers. Pinching the nipples of her fingers in the back of her hand, he was clearly teasing the woman and taking advantage of her. Likeable? Wu Pc muttered this sentence, looking at Zhao Jixi. So, Jixi, do you like it? Of course, beautiful things always make me love them from the bottom of my heart. He said that he was closer to Wu Pc. Pez, you are very likable, and I'm no exception. The woman looked at him shyly and licked her lips. I'm this age. What is beautiful or not? Jixi, you are really a joke. Advance to retreat is always a tactic that women like to use. She selectively forgot that she accepted Zhao Jixi's compliment so calmly when drinking coffee just now. Some beauty will not fade with time, but will become more and more attractive. Zhao Jixi was getting closer and closer to Wu Pc, and he could put his arm around her shoulders. Just like you, whether you are 30, 40, or even 50, you are still so charming and attractive. People are sensual animals, and I'm also a vulgar person. As he said this, he had already put his arm around the woman's shoulders. Sometimes it is really my luck to meet a beauty like you, Pace. Zhou said nice things, and his hands did not stop moving. Holding the woman's shoulders, feeling her body temperature, he thought that he was just a little bit away from the final base. Chapter 828 Push. Although he was quite interested in the male villain in that play, there was no need to meet him. He was paying attention to others, but they didn't know it yet. If they knew each other, and let them know what he did in the future, it seemed that he would lose his reputation in the circle of friends. After entering the elevator, he naturally put his arm around Wu Peace's waist. She didn't refuse, and walked naturally with him. Zhou and Liangzi talked about some interesting things, and she sometimes interrupted, and said a few words. When they arrived at the singing room, there was a little princess inside. Zhou and Wu Peizi ordered songs and drank wine, and the atmosphere suddenly became much better. Liangzi had gone out first, and later on the scene, only the two of them were left. The little princess also took Zhou tip at the right time, and went out very tactfully, and she also knew to close the door. A chorus of love songs made Zhou feel quite cliched, but this cliché worked well. A fairly good myth allowed the two to have more exchanges. The familiar face of the person in my dream, you are the tenderness that I'm waiting for. Even if my tears flood the world, I will not let go. I endure every moment of loneliness, only because I have made a promise. Jay Chou sang here with his eyes fixed on Pace Wu. Then Pace Wu also looked at him, and they both turned their heads to look at the screen, and sang in chorus, the familiar touch between you and me. Love is about to awaken. Jay Chou stopped, and the woman he was staring at took the microphone, and watched him begin to sing. Love is the only eternal myth among the vicissitudes of the world. The ebb and flow never regrets the appointment of true love. Several painful entanglements and many nights of struggle. Hold your hands tightly so that you and I will never be separated again. Jay Chou then sang. Hold your hands tightly so that you and I will never be separated again. He looked at her at the end and his body moved closer and closer to her. This moment was all he had planned. The two of them then sang together, amid the years of sorrow and joy. Only love is the eternal myth. No one has forgotten the ancient oath. Your tears turn into colorful butterflies flying all over the sky. Love is the wind beneath our wings and our two hearts fly freely together. With Jay Chou's face so close at hand, Pace Wu smiled and sang the last sentence. You are the only beautiful myth in my heart. Zhou put down the phone and couldn't help but kiss her red lips. The woman also closed her eyes. This one had a little alcohol and a little desire. They were more savoring each other's red lips. Zhou didn't mind at all with a little taste of alcohol. There was alcohol in his mouth too, and he stretched out his tongue to tease Wu Peizi. The woman was no pushover either. She grabbed Zhou collar and pulled him closer, even though they were already mouth to mouth. His hands couldn't be idle at this moment. He had just been looking for a support point, and now he had moved his position to the sofa. Wu Peizi leaned against the sofa, and his hands could finally be used. He reached out to touch the place he had been missing since he hugged her last night. The barrier of the bra made him quite unhappy. After needing it twice, he changed to put it on her back. At this moment, his body was already pressing on Wu Peizi. After lying down, Zhou right hand had another direction to attack, the buttocks he had been thinking about all day. Now he can finally taste the feel first, and then enjoy the touch of slapping for a while. Sure enough, it felt very satisfying to touch, and pinching that plumpness with one hand really made my little brother stand up all of a sudden. It was inevitable that it was a little unsatisfactory to touch through clothes, but at this moment, the bullet was already loaded, and it was really time to do it. Kissing on the mouth could no longer solve the fundamental problem. Wu Peizi's two hands were already grabbing his hair and stroking his back. Zhou also turned his attention to sensitive areas such as her neck and earlobes. No, not here. Wu Peizi was a little confused, grabbing her head and stroking it while still talking. Let's change a place to continue. The luxurious breath of proud humming and panting. There is a suite upstairs here. Let's go there. Zhou said, while biting her earlobe. Well, Wu Peasy agreed immediately. Her breasts had been attacked by Zhou. He had already put his hand in along the hem of her clothes. He didn't know when the bra buttons on the back were unbuttoned. Now his two little fingers on his right hand were pinching her red bean. Her right breast was wrapped in his palm. The erect bean brought a tingling sensation, stimulating her body. Zhou slowly took his hand out, and the two of them flew apart with red faces. Wu Peasy's skin was very white, and it turned red after what he did to her, and so did her ears. Suck. Zhou put his hand, which he had just taken out, in front of his nose and smelled it. It smelled sweet, and had a milky fragrance. Haha, let's go. The woman gave him a coquettish look, and he didn't care, and hugged her for another wet kiss. Zhou had already got the key to the private room upstairs, and took Wu Peasy into the elevator, and went straight to the topic of this time. The room was well designed and faced the sun. Of course, he couldn't see it at this moment, and as soon as he went in, and the door was closed, Zhou couldn't wait. The woman also began to help him take off his clothes, top, and shirt. Wu Peasy's coat was a close-fitting wool sweater, and the bra was only left with the straps. When the buttons were unbuttoned for Zhou just now, they were never buttoned up. He couldn't wait to press the woman against the wall, kissed her collarbone, and buried his head between the double. Then he used his mouth to tease the little dot, sometimes on the right and sometimes on the left. Of course, the time couldn't be as long as in a love action movie. There would be plenty of time to play later, and now it was important to get straight to the point. He picked up the woman with her upper body naked, and the two continued to hug and kiss. Putting them on the soft bed, Zhou stood on the edge of the bed, and Wu Peasy lay on the bed. The tight pants were a little difficult to take off. He knew this problem before. Now when he was doing it to a woman, he encountered this problem again, which was really annoying. He unbuttoned the buttons and slowly pulled down the pants, revealing a pair of purple-pink tight panties. There was a little lace in the front, and a few black hairs unwilling to be lonely had quietly run out of the lace holes. Zhou immediately cleaned himself up, not taking off her pants first, and then taking them off later. If he went in, it would obviously be more interesting. It was like an artistic desire film, not as varied as a love action film. It was more of a desire to vent, blending with each other. The muscles surged, the white and wheat colors intertwined together, and the light purple-pink pants also went down at this moment. Zhou casually threw away his pants, and Wu Peasy had already caught his little brother. He reached out and touched it, and the woman couldn't wait for him, and had already flooded. At this moment, it was exactly as he wished. The long legs were wrapped around his waist, and the woman was in the right position, so he only had to push forward, and it would slide in. Yeah. Oh. The two people could express their feelings for each other with just one word. The room was already full of desires. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 827 What I Saw. The time spent picking up girls passed quickly, and Zhou's time picking up sex partners was no exception. The two of them ate and drank for more than 3 hours. Qiu's dishes were indeed very good. If the southern cuisine could make a name for itself in the north, then the skills of the hands must be very good. It was obviously still a little far from the time to do things in the evening. Since they had already eaten and drunk, they should also go and have fun, so that they could have fun in the end. After dinner, Zhou and Wu Peasy planned to go to a private club. This was a place Zhou had been to with Li Gua and others before, and he now had a membership card there, so it was very convenient to go there. The most important thing was to stir up the atmosphere between the two of them, otherwise the atmosphere would not be suitable for women. Both of them had some ideas in mind, and they didn't mind what happened, so they naturally continued to play together. The car arrived outside the third ring road of the capital, and there was a private club that looked magnificent. There were few people coming and going, and there were not many pedestrians around. Most of the time, after walking past, they looked at the splendor here, and then quickened their pace to leave. What you can't get always makes you feel inferior, especially when you see men and women in bright clothes going in and out. As for me and others, we just watched from a distance and didn't dare to get close at all. Zhou and his group had 3 cars. Wu Peasy sometimes had some doubts. This man liked to bring a group of bodyguards wherever he went. It was really a strange hobby. The black Ford Raptor stopped on the parking lot not far from the door, and the bodyguard came down to help them open the door. After he got out of the car, he led Wu Peasy out, and the bodyguard still led the way. There were 3 people wearing black security uniforms who were very spirited. They had noticed their group. It was just that the accident happened right in front of them, and a voice sounded in the headsets of the security guards. They immediately opened the door and walked in. The people inside had already carried a man out. The man was dressed in ordinary clothes. Zhou could see that the vest on his body was back to back. After all, it would cost hundreds or thousands on the market. But at this moment, the man looked like a loser, and he shouted miserably, "You neon, come back with me. You really want to degenerate. Sir, you leave immediately, otherwise we will call the police." There were already more than 10 security guards rushing out to block the door. A security captain with a gold badge on his chest said sternly, "You are hiding filth here. Call the police if you want, and I will find the media to expose you." The man pointed at the security guard's nose angrily and cursed, "I will expose you, you watchdogs. You are working for pimps. You are really shameless." The man was scratching his face excitedly while talking, and Zhou sighed that this man's body movements were quite appropriate. "Sir, please speak with respect. This is a legitimate club, not a place that hides filth as you said. If you say anything nonsense, we will sue you for defamation." The security captain continued, "As for your insults to us, it's working hours now. I'll explain the nature of our work to you after I get off work." "What? You're threatening me?" The man became even more excited. "Threatening me? If you have the guts, kill me. Come on, hit me. Come on, I'm afraid of you." "I'm sorry, sir, I'm just answering your question. I don't mean to threaten you. I mean, I will explain the nature of my work to you in my private time, after get off work. Now it's working hours, and my job does not include explaining the nature of my work to you. Do you understand what I mean?" The security captain said with a calm face. "Just like this, it can make people more angry." The man was like this. He got angry and jumped up to punch the security captain on the steps. But a fat guy next to him stood up, and the man's fist hit him. "Ah. He hit someone. He attacked me." The fat man shouted exaggeratedly, "You all saw it. We tried to reason with him, but he still hit someone. He hit someone. It's too much. Call the police. Call the police immediately. I hit you. I hit you, you bunch of watchdogs." The man hadn't realized the crisis yet. He was already a little crazy with excitement. He wanted to hit others, but there were more people on the other side, so they were subdued. "How is the video?" asked the security captain. "Very good, very clear. Okay, the matter is resolved, and I will hand it over to the police later." He paused and said, "Ask the lawyer to help me get a mental damages." "How many times did I scold the watchdog just now?" the security captain suddenly asked his subordinates. "I don't remember, but it seems a lot. It seems I have to get one too." The team members said one after another. The security captain pointed to his head, as if he didn't care about the man, and said to the team members, "These days, you have to use your brain. Force can't solve the problem, you know." "Yes, yes." A group of yes men. Wu Peasy's 5 senses were obviously not as good as Zhou's. He only saw the commotion at the door, but he didn't know it was a good show. He frowned and said, "Should we change places? It seems a bit messy here." "It's okay, it's a small matter. It's all here. It's troublesome to go to other places," Zhou said. "Besides, the environment here is okay. It's opened by the brother of a friend of mine. If something goes wrong, it won't be our fault." As he said, a woman ran out. He looked pretty, with fair skin and no coat. "It's really brave not to wear a coat in this weather in the capital. Go back. We are really not suitable." The woman looked at the man with tears in her eyes. I don't know if it was because of sadness or the wind, or maybe it was cold. "You and Neon, tell me, did that person force you? Tell me." The man was even more excited when he saw the woman and wanted to get up under the suppression of the security personnel. Unfortunately, Zhou was right. There is strength in numbers, and he obviously didn't understand this sentence. The woman shook her head. Let's go. I'm willing to do this. No one forced me. Can you please stop making trouble for me? We've split up. Tell me yourself. Were you the one who cheated first? Now that it's like this, do you still want me to stay faithful to you? The woman said with a little impatience. Really, it's boring to talk about it. Is it fun to spend 200 yuan to find a lady? The woman's words obviously destroyed the plot that everyone knew in their minds. It really wasn't a melodramatic plot. What is this? Could it be that the woman was raped by the people in the club and now has to work for them, and the man came to rescue her? Wu Peasy described a melodramatic plot in boredom. Zhao Jixi shrugged his shoulders in boredom. This kind of thing is consensual, and he really shouldn't talk to Wu Peasy. Now it's a society ruled by law. China is still a good China. This is definitely much better than your Taiwan. They are a couple who are not confused. The more they talk, the more confused they are. Let's go in first. There are not many people here, so there are not many onlookers gathered yet. Even if there were 1 or 2 people who wanted to watch, because there were so few of them, the security guards looked at them and almost forced them to retreat. The Chinese like to watch, but they also know that it is better to avoid danger and seek good fortune. If everyone is watching, they should just go home and sleep. Originally, the drama would have been like this until another person came out, and Zhao Jixi was a little surprised. Isn't this one of his friends? How come he seems to be one of the supporting roles in this play? The man frowned and looked at the farce, then looked at Zhao Jixi and others who were walking over. Suddenly his eyes lit up, and his originally dark face broke into a smile. Without even looking at the woman and the man, he took 2 steps towards Zhao Jixi. Liangzi, what are you guys doing? The male supporting actor in this play is not you, kid. Zhao Jixi signaled the bodyguards to move aside so that the person could get next to him. Please don't look down on me, brother Jizi. I can't stand this. That woman came with Laozi. This guy's really good. He brought a girl and a drama to him. It's really interesting. The man was not very polite and had a bit of flattery. My friend, Liangzi. Zhao Jixi introduced Wu Peasy. My friend, Wu Peasy. Miss Wu, hello, hello. Liangzi looked at the woman with a little light in his eyes. Hello. Wu Peasy also stretched out his hand and shook hands with him gently. Okay, stop being pretentious here. Take her in quickly. I just finished eating, and I want to shout. Zhao Jixi patted his shoulder and said. Hey, okay, let's go in quickly. I'm stunned by those 2 people. Liangzi said. The group bypassed the 2 people over there. This farce has been going on for 5 minutes, and the police also came at this time. When Zhao Jixi turned around, the man was already talking to the police, pointing at the location of the club, and saying a bunch of accusatory words. As for whether what he said was true or false, Zhao Jixi believed that the camera would tell them the truth. After entering, a slightly fat middle-aged man wearing a pair of glasses was about to walk out. This is the 4th child. His mother at home is quite capable, but he is just a toy. Liangzi said without paying attention to the 4th child, and then Wu Peasy, who didn't know the matter, said, that woman is following him now. Then what's going on with them? Wu Peasy asked curiously. I can't figure out what's going on now. Liangzi said. Zhao Jixi then interjected, however, several people don't look like good people, so we good people shouldn't learn bad things from them. Haha. Brother Jixi's words make sense. Liangzi laughed immediately. But, are you still a good person? Wu Peasy said coquettishly. Of course, loud and clear. Zhao Jixi said unceremoniously. However, he did have some impression of this man nicknamed Laozi. Wasn't this the young master from Jiangnan whom he had really set his sights on? What a coincidence. He wondered when he got to know S. Chapter 829 Reasons. Just like that, Zhao Jixi, who was lying on his back, touched Wu Peasy's smooth back. The buttocks exposed to the air were slippery, as if they had no pores, and the curve of the buttocks was very curved. He had just tried it, the curve of a woman's buttocks lying on her back. It was big and round, and it made a wave of buttocks when it was patted. At the age of 32, her skin was still very tight. She had practiced yoga and her body flexibility was also very high. It was really a different feeling to sit on her and exercise. Especially the fine pores of an oriental girl, and the faint frankincense on her body, unlike the slight perfume smell of a western girl. It made him even harder, and brought great sensory stimulation to his body. Just now, when he was sitting, the woman was like Guanyin sitting on a lotus, and she was like an old tree with roots, rising and falling on him. This action allowed Zhao Jixi to feel her fatness with his hands, and his legs could rub her smoothness. He could also taste the red dots and suck the milk fragrance between the two white rabbits. Burying one's face in big breasts has always been something men like. Even if it's a bit suffocating to cover one's face, they still like it. Thinking of this, Zhao Jixi suddenly became excited again. His little brother stood up and propped up a small tent underneath. Wu Piece's blush had faded, and it seemed that the afterglow had just faded. Her eyes were still a little blurry, and her thighs had already felt his movements. With a seductive chuckle, she gently licked Zhao Jixi's red spot with her tongue, and her fingers also twisted the other side carefully. He turned over, picked up his gun, and mounted his horse, and went straight to Huanglang. For a moment, the war was restarted, and the spring light in the room was almost unstoppable. There was no so-called emptiness after the passion, but a kind of satisfaction. Even though he seemed to have only seen this woman in Chasing Shadows, he remembered her. For other movies, he just thought, hey, she's not bad, but he forgot about it afterwards. Now lying next to him, the two of them sitting and having fun, it was really a sense of satisfaction. They did it many times at night. A woman in her 30s is really unsatisfied. No matter how many times she conquers, she can quickly get into it. She is passionate about this matter. Thanks to Zhao Jixi's amazing perseverance, the woman has a deep understanding of his skills in bed. In the early morning, the two did not go out to play other things. They took a shower and changed to another bedroom to sleep in each other's arms. When he woke up in the morning, it was already past 10 o'clock. Zhao Jixi felt very thirsty. Seeing that the woman next to him was still sleeping soundly, he took a cup where his hand could reach. He poured a full cup of space water into it, drank it, and immediately his pores relaxed. The desire to drink water in his heart continued to rise, and he drank 4 more cups before he was satisfied. Wu Piece had not woken up yet, and he just had time to think about what to say later. How about saying that there is an emergency meeting? Well, this is a good reason. He couldn't help but give himself a thumbs up. It turns out that men with jobs are still very beneficial. They can think of such a grand reason. Charity donations, cocktail parties, and entertainment. It seems that you can bring a female companion to these, but it's different for meetings. It's company secrets, so of course you can't bring anyone with you. Zhao Jixi thought to himself with pride. Get up. No need to take a shower today. Put on the clothes he collected yesterday. Wu Piece has slowly woken up and asked drowsily, what time is it? Zhao Jixi looked at his watch. 10:15. Oh. The woman replied lazily. Then she suddenly looked up at Zhao Jixi. What? 10:15. He was confused by Wu Piece's actions. It was already this late. Why was she so exaggerated? Well, what's wrong? What's going on? He asked. I have another brand event today, and I have to go there after 11 o'clock in the afternoon. After getting the affirmation, the woman immediately got up, regardless of her body being exposed to the air, and began to look for clothes. Did you see my bra and panties? Wu Piece only saw her clothes, but didn't see the 2 underwear. It's underneath. I remember I brought it here yesterday. Zhao Jixi recalled. The woman dressed in front of him was very tempting. She put on purple pink pants and a bra. The white hemisphere was exposed outside, which made men more eager to get an erection than when the pink dots were exposed in front of him. The high-waisted pencil pants were put on, making the shape of the buttocks tighter and more upturned, and the close-fitting woolen sweater was also put on. After a while, Zhao Jixi hadn't dressed yet, but the woman had already dressed herself. I'll ask the driver to take you. Zhao Jixi was also quick as she put on the pants, and his movements were much faster. Okay, hurry up, I still have to put on some makeup in the car. Wu Piece said, after putting on high heels. Do you want to eat something? I'll ask the chef of the club to send it to the car. An apple is enough. Wu Piece began to put on eyeliner. Look, there's one here. Zhao Jixi picked up an apple at random, exchanged it with the one in the space, and gave it to her. I'll take you down. There's still time. Don't be too anxious. Yeah. Pace Wu responded, and checked herself in the small mirror. The painting was okay, so she walked out with Jay Chou. The car downstairs was ready. After Jay Chou sent her up, he waved goodbye reluctantly. He breathed a sigh of relief. Mature women are mature women. She was so energetic today after such a long battle yesterday. She didn't even walk out of shape. Amazing. He muttered to himself, and went back to the club, to catch up on some sleep. He didn't notice it just now, and the security guard saluted him when he went in. Then he remembered that he probably saluted him when he went out. He turned around and said, "Thank you for your hard work serving the guests." The three security guards said in unison. Jay Chou was ridiculous for a moment, and a smile appeared on his face. Haha, very good, very touching. The more I think about it, the more interesting it becomes. Your supervisor is a good instructor. Keep going, keep going. I entered the club in a good mood. There were a few people coming in and out in the morning. Compared to the Ticketons yesterday afternoon, there were still 3 or 5 people walking around today. But the old ones were paired with the young ones, a man in his 40s with a girl in her 20s. There were also people in their 50s and 60s with teenagers, maybe in their 20s. Women are getting better and better at putting on makeup now, and it's really hard to tell their age. But the little girl I saw on the screen in the future was also seen here. It was really a bit unexpected, but taken for granted. For those who are in the celebrity circle, some are lucky enough to soar to the sky, while others are like upgrading, rising step by step. For peripheral girls to get into the circle, they could be third rate, second rate, or first rate. Chapter 830, meeting Liu Wei by chance during a joke. Please vote. Although Zhao Jixi had put on his clothes, he was in a hurry, and didn't put his shirt into his pants. He was wearing slippers. His playboy look attracted the attention of several people, but he was too lazy to look back at them. Several people didn't dare to look at him for long, except that there were many black and white bodyguards standing beside him. Brother Jixi, let's go have some breakfast together? Liangzi said when he saw Zhao Jixi. No, I slept late last night, so I'll go in and catch up on my sleep first. He waved his hand and said, "Oh, I understand, I understand." Liangzi looked like he understood. What do you understand? You're smiling so obscenely. Zhao Jixi's slippers flew out, trying to play a joke on him. The slippers flew high, and the force was not very even, so they didn't fly along the planned route. A woman who came out was hit on the chest by his slippers, and she screamed ah. Her face was pale, and she was shocked. The people around the girl were also startled by her scream. They quickly supported the woman who was about to fall, and asked with concern, "What happened to Liu Yan? Is he okay? What happened? What happened?" The man next to the two women asked. Several people behind the three of them, both men and women, also immediately showed concern. "Something hit me." The woman looked down and saw that it was a slipper, a disposable product in the club. Then she looked up angrily and wanted to find the culprit. Zhao Jixi saw that the arc of the flying slipper was wrong and thought it was broken. When he heard the woman scream, he knew that something happened. He immediately ran to Liangzi's side into steps and whispered, "Slippers, hurry up." Oh. Liangzi hadn't reacted yet. As usual, he took off his shoes when he heard what Zhao Jixi said. Zhao Jixi took the opportunity to give Liangzi another slipper and wore his own, which was a little smaller and a little stuck on his toes. The bodyguards and some people looked at it in confusion. The riot had just started over there, and a pantomime was being performed over here. It was really strange. After changing into slippers, he immediately looked at Liangzi and said confidently, "What are you playing? Look, you've hit someone. What's going on with you?" He said this while gesturing with his fingers vividly. Then the few people who were with the woman over there heard the sound and looked over. Zhao Jixi trotted over, looking at the woman who seemed to have sprained her foot in the dust on her chest. "Oh, no, ma'am, are you okay?" he asked with concern, but his eyes unconsciously glanced at a certain position. The woman was still angry about the misfortune and said angrily, "What do you think? Does it look like it's okay?" Zhao Jixi didn't pay attention to the woman's face and quickly said, "Oh, I'm sorry, this thing has made your clothes dirty." As he said that, he even wiped it with his hand. The man next to the woman saw that the action was wrong and immediately shouted with the woman next to Liu Yan, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You still want to be a hooligan?" The man stood up and pushed Zhao Jixi, but unfortunately, he didn't push him. "Where are the security guards? Security guards?" The woman next to Liu Yan was more rational. Such a tall man didn't look like Zhou on her side could beat him, not to mention the others. It would be better to call the security guards. Zhao Jixi quickly raised his hand to his chest. "I didn't mean that. Look how anxious I am," he said and looked at the man who pushed him. This face looked a little familiar. I don't know when I have seen him. It was just that the man's orchid finger covered the sissy action, which suddenly reminded him of who this person was. Isn't it the best friend of Huang Heibo, the wife of a good prostitute in reality? To be more precise, it is the best male best friend in a TV series shot by Gao Yuan, a man named Zhou. As for the woman next to Liu Yan, the more he looked at her, the more familiar she looked. He recalled that her husband seemed to be the baby-faced martial arts star Wu Jing. Well, he was used to seeing female stars in the capital's clubs, second tier and third tier, male and female. As for whether these people came here to do the same thing as him, it was unknown. But this matter was not important at the moment, and the most important thing was to keep the show going. He turned around and called Liangzi, "Hurry up, come and apologize to them, look how scared they are." Liangzi now understood that the eldest brother was the eldest brother, and he could even do it so quickly and openly. He, who was taking the blame, had better hurry up. "Beauty, I'm sorry, my brother is a little naughty, and I just scared you. I'm really sorry." Zhao Jixi looked at her apologetically and said, I. Liangzi was already impressed by Zhao Jixi's acting skills. "You." The woman looked at Zhao Jixi angrily. "Don't touch me." She seemed to be frightened by Zhao Jixi, but this face looked a little familiar. After an idea flashed through Zhao Jixi's mind, he forgot it again. "What's wrong? What's going on?" The girl turned around and came out from behind a few people, and a few more people walked down the stairs. One of the middle-aged men who looked quite imposing asked, but he still looked at Zhao Jixi cautiously, especially Raymond who was always by his side. "Mr. Wang." Liangzi saw an acquaintance and shouted, "Mr. Lin, this is." Mr. Wang saw Liangzi shouting politely, and then looked at his subordinates and their face with a questioning look. Misunderstanding. I just made a joke and affected this lady." Liangzi wisely took the blame. "You hurt the girl, you deserve to die." Mr. Wang nodded. "Oh, Mr. Lin, it's serious. How dare I, Wang, let you die? If you die once, I will be deeply sinful." Then he turned around and said to the woman, "Liu Yan, are you okay? Are you hurt?" Although the tone seemed to be concerned, there seemed to be another meaning in it. Everyone around the boss understood it, especially at this time with Liu Yan's agent, the man Zhou beside Liu Yan, and the woman Zinan, known as the new generation of hosts of the optical fiber 3 treasures. Liu Yan is also a smart woman. The situation is stronger than the person. This time she suppressed her unhappiness. The angry chest just trembled twice. Since her boss knows her and is so polite to her, she must be a big shot. And seeing that the boss wants to settle the matter, she sighed in her heart. If you can't afford to offend someone, you should be honest. Even if this person does this kind of thing in public, it's okay. I was just startled just now. Then she turned back to Zhao Jixi and smiled politely. "No need to apologize. I'm really fine." But the grievance in her eyes was visible in his eyes. The boss and Liangzi were very satisfied. She was a smart woman. This way, everyone's face would be good. Guangfa didn't want to offend anyone, and Liangzi didn't want to make enemies for no reason. Some people can't help you much, but they can definitely do you some harm. Zhao Jixi seemed to be touched by the look of this woman, as if there was a strange emotion in his heart. Thinking about it, he actually exchanged shoes with Liangzi just now, with a little bit of playfulness in it, playing with the girl, and now asking her to apologize. It's a bit too unmanly. So he said, "No, it's my fault. I was just joking and it affected you. And the most important thing is that I'll let my brother take the blame. I did something that a big man dares to do, but not admit today, even if it was just a joke. It's a pity that you got hurt in the end." His words made the woman look at him. He had a very handsome face and a great figure. She had actually noticed some details just now, but this place was one of the famous private clubs in the capital. They were just brought in by the boss, and those who could come in by themselves basically had some connections and abilities. It was better not to cause trouble if they could. Zhou said this without paying attention to the strange expressions of some people around him, especially those who thought that Liangzi did it just now, and those who saw that he did it. Why did it turn around again in a short while? Do rich kids like to play tricks? It seems that a vulgar person like me who doesn't have enough money will not understand. When we have more money in the future, will we also play tricks? I seem to be quite impressive now. Well, when I have more money in the future, I can do the same. People who have been watching for a while thought of this, but they didn't dare to stay for long. The one who took his goddaughter to check and had already left. It would be troublesome if he caused trouble for no reason. Zhou reached out to his bodyguard, and Raymond quickly took out an exquisite small box, which contained exquisite business cards. The design is very beautiful and generous, and it is very artistic. The business card is not pasted with gold foil, but it is actually not much cheaper than the one with gold foil. It costs more than $3,000 to make a box of these business cards. They are specially made by designers. They are made by well-known business card designers, so they have to meet their well-known prices. He took out a card and said, "It was originally a small matter, but considering the mental damage it has caused you, it is also a very profound matter." He handed over the business card and said, "This is my business card. If you have any difficulties in the future, call the number above. I will help you once, which is considered to be paying back what I did this time." Zhou was very imposing when he said this. The atmosphere on the scene seemed to change with him, and the woman and the people next to her were scared and dared not speak. Of course, this was also because several bodyguards were in place. With this back view, it would not be good if he did not have the imposing manner. Liu Yan just took it stupidly, and he was still upset. After being patted on the shoulder twice, the man nodded to his boss and left. Liu Yan didn't know what was going on. Chapter 831. Could it really be him? New month. Please vote. Boss Wang, I'll treat you to dinner some other day. This is my brother. We were just joking just now. Liangzi didn't seem embarrassed at all when Zhou told him the truth. He just told Boss Wang that it was his own business. "Okay, Boss Lin treats me to dinner, so I have to save my stomach." Boss Wang also said with a smile like Maitreya Buddha, as if nothing had happened. "That's it for now. I have something else to do, so I'll leave first. I'll send a set of clothes to this girl tomorrow. It's embarrassing to dirty such a beautiful dress." Boss Wang also said with a smile that there was no need to be so polite. How could he treat his company's people badly? He had the money to buy clothes, so he wouldn't bother Liangzi. Liangzi's breakfast was a matter, and they were also a matter when they went to work. Yesterday, the company celebrated and came to the club to play for a day. He also booked a few rooms, and everyone rested in it for a night. In the morning, there was nothing to do with several artists in the company and their agents, so I was the last one to go back. Unexpectedly, he ran into his own artist when he came out. He had some problems with one of the bosses here. Then there was a plot twist. The process and the result were not important now. At least Liangzi didn't care and apologized. He didn't mean to be relentless. He also thought that, even if it was their fault, he would let his artist apologize. Fortunately, they were reasonable and everyone gave each other face. Liu Yan also got some unknown benefits. Everyone was happy. But Liu Yan, this woman, didn't seem to be able to make a name for herself in the future. Now she was so cunning with him, the big boss, and she was playing a balance. He didn't even get a bite of hair. She was really a slippery woman. Let's go. Everyone disperse first. Those who should go back to the company should go back to the company. Those who should go to rest should go to rest. Those who drank too much and sang too much yesterday should also go to rest. Mr. Wang said and left with a few people. After leaving a group of subordinates behind to see them off, they dispersed. Zinan, Liu Yan, and Zhou Zeduo fell behind. The relationship between the three people is not that good, especially Liu Yan, who is quite arrogant. She is not a woman that is easy to approach. People like them who are not as good as her can feel her arrogance. Zinan actually feels sorry for this woman. The two of them signed into this company after participating in the competition together. She remembered that she saw Liu Yan crying secretly once. After crying, she wiped her tears, put on makeup, and then returned to her original appearance. Her family was in a difficult situation during the competition. A girl had to take care of the whole family, and she had to bear the medical expenses of her sick mother. Liu Yan was also a girl with a difficult life. Zinan sympathized with her and would care about her. Let's go too, Zinan said on the side. Zhou Zeduo didn't know whether he should leave or not. He was a step late just now, and it seemed inappropriate to leave now. So he stayed and looked at Liu Yan with concern. Beautiful women are always easy to arouse the fantasies deep in men's hearts. Even if they are self-aware, they can't help but want to get close to communicate and make friends. Liu Yan nodded. Yes, let's go together. She was grateful and touched that the two people stood up to speak for her, especially that Zhou Zeduo pushed the man. Thank you for just now. We are all colleagues, so there is no need to be so polite, Zhou Zeduo said. Yes, Zhou Zeduo is right. We are of the same year, right? We signed with the same company. Liu Yan laughed, and the trembling chest immediately attracted a man and a woman. The three of them walked out together. There was a car waiting for them outside. After all, they were contracted artists of the company, so they still had these benefits. When the three of them got in the car, Liu Yan happened to be holding a business card in his hand, and Zinan was a little curious. Pulling her, he asked, by the way, Liu Yan, what did the man write on the business card he gave you? Male. Liu Yan first wondered, then he remembered what he was talking about. I don't care what he does. It was so irritating just now. He excitedly waved his arms to strengthen his language tension. If they weren't the boss, if they weren't rich, how could these people be so arrogant? It's really amazing that they thought of playing the shoe kicking game in a public place. Thinking of the grievance just now, Liu Yan felt uncomfortable. These prodigals probably never thought about other people's feelings. They are so self-centered. They kicked shoes as a joke, but didn't they think about trampling on other people's dignity? When she was talking, her waving arm just happened to drop the business card on the seat. Zinan was still thinking about comforting Liu Yan. Zhou Zeduo, who was sitting in the co-pilot seat, was watching the back, listening to them talking, and by the way, looking at the excited woman's trembling breasts. He also saw the business card floating down. Zhou Zeduo picked it up and looked at it, but as he looked at it, his mouth opened wider and wider, with an incredible look on his face. He looked at the two people and wanted to say something, but he couldn't say anything. He pointed at himself and the business card, looking anxious and dumb. What are you doing, Zhou Zeduo? Are you acting a pantomime with your sister? This. After a pause, Zhou Zeduo took a deep breath and said, if this business card is real, this man is amazing. What do you mean by real or not? What are you talking about? Liu Yan also looked at Zhou Zeduo in confusion and asked. Zinan snatched the business card from Zhou Zeduo's hand, which was written in English. After all, everyone can pass the English test and understand what is written on it. Besides, even if they don't understand other things, they finally know the English for Apple. Director of Apple. Zinan muttered in English. One of the members of the board of directors of Apple Incorporated. Zhou Zeduo also added in detail. The boss and creative director of Sky Games. The founder of Tomcat. A shareholder of Facebook and a member of the board of directors. The boss of Sky Investment. Zinan read out part of what he saw on it. Zhou. Zhou Zeduo pointed at the name on the business card and said, the most important thing is the name. The name. Isn't it just Zhao? That's what it means when translated. What's so strange about this? Liu Yan didn't react to what he was going to say for a while, even though the name seemed very familiar in her mind. She just couldn't remember it for a while. Zhao. ranked 73rd on the Forbes list of the richest people in the world, with a net worth of over $10 billion US. Zhou said excitedly, "Isn't there anything strange about this? Isn't this strange enough? Oh my god, I just seem to have pushed a world-class rich man and met him face to face." Zhou was already a little crazy. "It's a pity that you didn't push him." Zinan hit him from the side. "I pushed a world-class billionaire. I pushed a world-class billionaire." A person worth over $10 billion US appeared right in front of me. He was getting more and more annoyed as he spoke. Why didn't I tell him right away? Billionaire, let's be friends." Chapter 832. Zhou is still in the mouth of others. Zinan and Liu had enough reasons to despise Zhou. "You still want to make friends with others? When will you change your gender, get plastic surgery on your face, or when will you stop going through the front door and go through the back door? You want to make friends with rich people without any pressure? Don't even ask these women comrades if they agree." Zhou, "I know a good surgeon." "What for?" Zhou looked at Liu in confusion. "Let him do a sex change operation for you first, and then you can go to Korea for plastic surgery. Maybe you can make friends with rich people." Zinan said the rest of the words. "Oh my god, you two are so unscrupulous." The two girls smiled, and Liu's mood was much better. Poor comrade Zhou, she deserves to be called a good girlfriend for women's friends. Her eyes were filled with tears, which made people love her. Top novel mobile edition. But seriously, Liu, this time you have a blessing in disguise. With such a shield, you won't have to go through so much trouble in the future. Zinan looked at her and said, "Women, especially beautiful women, want to mix in the circle. Sometimes it is really difficult. For example, Liu often has dinner parties that she can't refuse. Some are a little slippery, so she can't suffer much loss. Some people hug and touch their hands and take advantage of them. It's all possible. Fortunately, she is smart. Now it's difficult, but she hasn't fallen as badly as some women. Sometimes she is very grateful to her ex-boyfriend, at least because of him. She doesn't need to sell herself so ugly. If you really want to take off your pants in exchange for a career, it won't last long. He just said that he can help you once. You must cherish the opportunity." Zinan said to Liu like a close sister. Zhou thought it made sense and said excitedly, yeah, how about you ask him to invest in a movie and you play the leading role, then maybe you will become famous tomorrow. Do you really think he's stupid? Zinan said, a slipper hit someone, and he invested hundreds of millions to make a movie. He really thinks he got the money for free. Zhou didn't care and continued, it's almost like he got it for free. He took out his mobile phone to show the two women. See, his game company, the Angry Birds and Fruit Swordsman that you play, are all products of his company. With these now, he can earn $500,000 or $600,000 a day. In the future, as smartphones become more popular, it will not be a problem for him to make over $1 million a day. Oh my god, making games is so profitable? Zinan was confused by the number. It was beyond imagination that he could make money so quickly. In the game industry, you have to make money when your game is popular. Downloading costs money, and the free Android version has a few ads. Plus, it's sold worldwide, so how can you not make money? Zhou said, learning on the spot. Tell me, this is quite different from picking up something for free. Others just spent money to buy an NBA basketball team to play with, spending hundreds of millions of dollars to buy it. A few $1 million are really not even a fraction of that. Zhou said, spitting. My god, this world is really crazy. We work hard to make a little money, and we are already much better off than most people. Compared with him, my heart is cold. Zinan said. Liu didn't say anything. As she listened to the two people talking, she was also thinking about something in her mind. Perhaps, this is also an opportunity for her. Zhou just had the intention of playing around. When he entered the room, except for Liu's big breasts, he had no other thoughts. Anyway, the seeds have been sown, and it depends on Liu whether they will succeed or not. If this woman wants something, it means he has a chance. If she doesn't have any intentions towards you, there are so many women in the world, and he doesn't have time to waste with her. Fortunately, Wu PC left in the morning, and he can have a good rest in the afternoon. He will take a plane to Shanghai in the evening. After watching the concert of Girls' Generation there, he will return to his hometown and take his daughter and his parents to the United States. It has been delayed for several months to ask the two to see their son's new home. I don't know if the two have not shown off enough, or they feel that the cultural environment at home makes them feel comfortable. Anyway, the environment is definitely not that good. Unless you go to your hometown and the countryside, it will be better. Green mountains and clear waters can also increase your lifespan. These few days after returning, Zhao Jixi avoided going to Zhang's house. It happened that Zhang Ziyi also wanted to avoid reporters, so she went to Paris to participate in an event. Her brother didn't call him, and the agent's call was answered by his assistant, who directly found an excuse that he was busy to turn it down. Zhang's mother did contact him when he arrived in the capital, and the reason she found was about the house. Of course, Jay Chou couldn't go to see her now. If he went there, the old lady might have to show her cards. He wasn't stupid, so how could he get married right away? Plus, Zhang Ziyi suddenly went to Paris. She must have some intention. As for what it was, he hadn't figured it out yet. Anyway, the woman thought it was too early. It just so happened that this was what he wanted. He used the excuse of a meeting and a bunch of things to discuss to evade Zhang's mother. People knew he was busy, so they didn't want to bother her. Plus, the next day, there was a scandal about him and Zhu Jinglei. Zhang's mother's face was dark. Jay Chou risked his life to call her and said that he had invested in the movie and this was a good opportunity to hype it up. Fortunately, Zhang's mother was the mother of a female star in the entertainment industry, so she knew more about the matter. He managed to fool her, so he didn't have to worry about these things in the capital. Fortunately, Zhu's father didn't talk to him, so he seemed to be more reliable. The Zhou father here is from Zhu Jinglei's family, another Zhou family in the capital, and his blind date Zhu Ye's family. It's safer to leave now. As for saying that he is not in the capital, this lie doesn't seem to be very technical. He will be photographed by paparazzi, or someone will be able to catch the boarding time. It's not good anyway, and there is no need for it. He took a nap and slept comfortably, but he was also woken up by the phone. He is a confused person. Sometimes he remembers to turn off his phone, and sometimes he forgets. He picked up the phone in a daze and said, "Hello, who is this?" "Zhu Ye." "Oh. Zhu Ye, Zhu Ye. Okay. Got it. I'm still sleeping. If you have anything, call my assistant and she will tell me later. Now, I'm going to turn off my phone." Zhao Jixi said in a daze, put the phone away, and muttered, "Why did I answer the phone? It's really weird. Can't I sleep?" Zhu Ye held the phone in her hand, and she heard the last mumbling voice in full, and suddenly roared like a lion. Zhao Ji. The sudden roar on the phone scared him so much that he let go of the phone. What's going on? He had woken up. Oh my god. Zhu Ye, why did she call me? Chapter 833 Zhu Ye's affairs. Without time to think about it, he picked up the dropped phone again. "Yeah, I didn't wake up just now. I'm sorry. Boss Zhao is really high profile. Sister, you have to make an appointment before contacting, right?" Zhu Ye's tone was not so good. "I was a little angry just now. Sorry. Zhu Ye continued, "If you are angry, don't apologize. If apologizing is useful, then what do we need the police for?" Zhao Jixi was a little confused when he heard it. "Yeah, what does my matter have to do with the police?" "Okay, it has nothing to do with the police, but it has something to do with me. I apologized. Apologize, if it's useful. Hey, are you going to take me into it?" Zhu Ye said unhappily. "Don't talk nonsense with me. I don't mean that." Zhao Jixi said. "Please treat me to a meal, otherwise I will never be able to calm down." Zhu Ye said. "I have a flight tonight and I have a meeting at Zhanghai. Your time is wrong." Zhao Jixi couldn't even hide now. How could he go out to eat for her? "Meeting? You have a meeting tonight. Why are you sleeping in the afternoon?" He paused and said doubtfully, "I say, Zhao Jixi, aren't you hiding from me?" An angry look flashed across her face, and the strength of her right hand almost broke the pen on her finger. "Haha. Just kidding. Why would I hide from you? Yeah, you are such a joker. He felt guilty for no reason, thinking that he was treating her as a spare tire, and he really couldn't be sincere. At least he, Zhou, couldn't be sincere, that was certain. He secretly touched his heartbeat, and it was obviously much faster. He also secretly looked around, but there was no one, so he didn't care about blushing. Yeah, I just had a video conference with the Americans yesterday. As you know, there are several companies in my company, and some things need me to make the decision. The Americans have to make decisions during the day, but we have them at night. I just happened to catch up with two very important meetings. Just tell me about Apple, a multinational company. Don't be fooled by how awesome they are. The internal strife is really severe. Recently, Jobs is going to retire, and Cooper is going to take over. At this time, our shareholders meeting is a big deal. I just don't want to get involved too deeply, so I went to China for 2 more days. But the meeting has to be held. Boss Job gave the instructions in person. It must be done in person, not by agents. Look, these bastards held meetings that are longer than those in China. I just held 2 meetings, and I didn't fall asleep until 4 in the morning. As for Zhonghai, you also know the national conditions of our China. It doesn't matter much whether you go to the company meeting or not. It's better to have a drink at the table in the evening than to talk to people in the office. I've had enough sleep, so I'm going to Zhonghai to eat and drink and talk about things. Zhou made up lies on the phone, and the more he lied, the more fluent he became. Zhu said sarcastically, after eating and drinking, "Are you going to a sauna? How do you know?" Zhou pretended to be surprised and climbed up the pole. Soaking in a hot spring after a meal and a drink is a real enjoyment. Drinking some sobering wine in the hot spring, drinking iced wine in the hot mist. Wow, it's just like soaking in a hot spring outdoors, when it's snowing in Japan, lying down relaxedly, waiting for the snowflakes to fall into the warm wine, and then drinking it in one gulp. Isn't it very poetic and romantic? Well, Zhu has forgotten what she was going to say to Zhou. What she is thinking about is the romance that Zhou talked about. There is a pool of hot springs under her body, and the sky is a world of floating snowflakes. In her hand is a steaming wine, and when the snowflakes float in, she drinks it in one gulp. I suddenly want to go to Japan to take a hot spring bath. Zhu said. Go ahead, if you want to go, I'll book your flight ticket and a hotel for you there, so you can have a good time and come back. Zhou said immediately. No, how about I charter a plane for you to fly there directly, and you can take a hot spring bath there, and then fly back. Even if something happens in your company, it won't delay you, right? Zhou said in a much lighter voice. I say, yeah, do you think my apology is sincere enough? Huh, just barely enough. Zhu said. She was really thinking about going to Japan for fun, but she looked at the people next to her. She immediately became rational again. Let's not talk about this first. You come here first. If your Zhonghai meeting is not a matter of life and death, delay it. If you don't come to my side, just wait for me to collect your body. What? Zhou was stunned. Don't be like this. He was anxious. He didn't remember that he had slept with her. Why is she trying to commit suicide now? After a turn of his mind, his tone suddenly became a little unnatural, as if he was reluctant. 300 million, yeah, and US dollars. Although it doesn't matter life and death, my heart will be broken. I said Zhou. Zhu's voice suddenly hesitated. Just now she just suspected that Zhou was avoiding her. Now it was really hard for her to judge the situation. If she really ruined his business for her own sake, it seemed a bit too much. Besides, she was not being unreasonable. Julia, call Mr. Lee in South Korea and ask him to fly to Zhonghai first. Let him have a meal and talk with others first. I won't go over now. Anyway, I'm not too familiar with Greenland's affairs. As he spoke, he immediately said to the phone, yeah, give me the address. I'll be there right away. The problem is solved. No need, just do what you have to do. I was just joking. I didn't mean that. No need to come. Really no need. This is not a polite remark. Zhu said to the phone seriously. Yeah. Zhou made a victory gesture towards the empty room. A smug smile appeared on his face. It turned out that retreating in order to advance was the right choice, especially for Zhou, a woman with whom he had a complicated relationship. This move, which made people feel that they owed you a favor, was the best move. But Zhao Jixi suddenly heard on the phone, "Yeah, the person your family introduced to you doesn't have you at all. He only has his business and his money in his heart. You won't be happy with him. Yeah, I really love you. Look, he won't come, even though you said so." What does this prove? This proves. Zhu Ye's cold voice interrupted him. This proves that he is better than you. Can you negotiate a business worth hundreds of millions with others? Can you charter a plane whenever you want? Can you go wherever you want? No, everything you have was given to you by your father. If you lose your father, you will have nothing. What's going on? Questions popped up in Zhao Jixi's mind. The first thing he thought of was not that someone was stealing his girl, but that Zhu Ye was setting him up. He typically began to judge others by himself. After doing a lot of things, he would doubt whether other people were doing the same. Don't mention my dad. You all say that my achievements are due to my dad. What's wrong with me? I just have a rich dad. I work hard, and I started my company by myself. The man said. That yeah. Zhao Jixi looked at this matter, and it didn't seem like a setup. Someone must have poached his girl. His spare tire was poached. He had to go and see who it was. If it was suitable, he should change the spare tire. I told you that you don't need to come. Now it's like this. No, I pushed that thing away. Now I have nothing to do. I'll go and take a look. This man is so interesting. I must go and take a look. Zhao Jixi said, then I'll hang up first. Send the address quickly. As he said that, he really hung up the phone. Zhu Ye looked at the phone, feeling conflicted and strange. If it weren't for what happened today, she really didn't want to call him, but she wanted to try calling him. She was not blind, so how could she not see the reports in the past few days? After thinking about it, she sent the address to Zhao Jixi. Then she looked at the man and said to the two female friends around her, "Okay, he will be here soon. Let's go in and talk." As she said that, she put down the pen, stood up and walked forward a few steps, looking back at the man. After seeing him, "I think you can give up. Let's go to the Western restaurant below us. He is a bit picky, and the food there is okay. I think he will like it." The two women stood up, after seeing Zhu Ye go out, looked at the man and patted him on the shoulder. "Okay, people are here. You have to work harder this time, and don't let down your momentum. Come on. I support you spiritually." Another little girl, who looked pretty and cute, also followed suit and patted his shoulder. The man breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Zhu Ye had already walked out, but the two girls walked in front first. He immediately stood up and took 2 steps forward. "Ah, is that all? That's the big boss. How should I deal with him when he comes later? You have to teach me first." "Wait, teach? How to teach? This is the first time I've seen such a thing. This is the first time in my life that I've seen a Chinese who ranks so high on the Forbes list, and he's so young," said the more rational woman. "Yes, this is the real big boss, Zhao Chang. I think you really pissed off Sister Ye this time." After a pause, "Look at what Sister Ye did when she slammed Forbes on the table just now, and you said that the man was so great, and you can do what he can do." After saying this, she looked at him with pity. "TSK. I estimate it will be difficult for you to make it to the Forbes list of the world's richest people. However, if you are lucky, you may be able to catch a ride and become a member of the Zhou family of the Celestial Empire, which may be possible. Sister, can you please not discourage me? I just said it. Who knew that this person is really so awesome this time?" The man also had a helpless look on his face. "I shouldn't have mentioned him. If I had known, I really must do it, or I will die. Go. Don't stay here. You have no hope at all here. Maybe there is still a chance if you go," said the intellectual woman. Chapter 834. Selfish People. When Zhao Jixi arrived at the address sent by Zhu Ye, more than half an hour had passed. The traffic in this capital is congested. It doesn't look too far, but it's actually slower than riding a bicycle. He walked in with Raymond, a big black man, followed by several people and 2 female assistants. "This is a necessary team for travel, and I'm used to it. Turning his head to look for Zhu, there were 4 people sitting on the big seat in the right corner. Jess, this way. Zhu also saw Zhao Jixi and waved. He smiled and nodded, and walked over. There was an 8-seater seat over there, and there was a 4-seater next to it. Zhao Jixi exchanged glances with Mariah, and she walked over to the people over there. Zhu stood up, and looked at his bodyguards and assistants. Jess, you are still so grand. Safety first, don't give people a chance to take advantage of you, then you won't have enemies. Zhao Jixi looked at the people who stood up together, and said to Zhu. Mariah smiled elegantly beside him, and communicated with several people in a somewhat awkward way. He took out the cash, and handed it to them. They looked at each other, and didn't say anything about being rich. After receiving the money, they asked the waiter to come and change their seats. Mariah also gave the waiter a tip at the right time. He didn't complain about helping to change seats. The dishes were moved to the next seat, and Zhao Jixi's bodyguards went in. Being rich is great. What kind of style is this? Zhao whispered to the 2 girls beside him. Problems that can be solved with money are the simplest problems for me. People have no obligation to change seats with you just because it's convenient for you. Since there is no obligation, it is an additional behavior outside of the obligation. I just paid them for doing some additional behavior for me, which is their labor income, Zhao Jixi said, while looking at the man. The man looks okay, square and upright, and doesn't look like a pretty boy. The man with thick eyebrows and big eyes is also likable, but his temperament is a little worse, and he looks more childish than him. Several people next to him also heard Zhao Jixi's words, and they felt a little uncomfortable in their hearts just now, thinking that they were bought by money, and it was unpleasant to say. But after he said that, I suddenly felt that this was right, and it became natural. I had no obligation, and the additional behavior was paid by others, and I worked hard to move it away, even if the waiter who helped gave a tip. It was basically an equal exchange, and it was really not that I liked money. Well, that's it. Zhao Jixi's assistant Mariah didn't give much, but he would pay for their food, plus 2,000 yuan, and these people left. Heh, making a farce. The man said unconvinced. Zhao Jixi chuckled, looked at Zhu and said, yeah, it seems that you have a pretty good eye. Like a little child. It's really not the type that *** women like. What are you talking about? Zhu didn't speak. The man spoke first, pointing his finger at him. Why am I a child? It looks like you are a little kid. I'm 20 years old. How old are you? Zhao Jixi looked strange. Well, let's put it this way. It's not a matter of age. It's here. As he said that, he pointed his finger at his head and said, there is no maturity here, and it is useless for you to be mature outside. What do you mean? You are saying that I'm not smart, right? No, that's not what I meant. But, I'm sorry for my words, but it is still hurtful to say them. He sat down and said, you are Ye's friend anyway. I didn't save face for you just now. That is, I didn't save face for Ye. Without saying anything else, brother, let's drink 3 glasses first. He poured the red wine and drank it. Zhao watched him drink the red wine worth more than 3,000 yuan as water, and felt that the red wine was not worth it. The cute girl couldn't help but say, why are you like this? Is it interesting to talk about it from left to right? It's okay, it's quite interesting. Zhao Jixi said with a smile. He then looked at the man again. Brother, I wanted to see what kind of person you are. Now that I have seen you, I'm really relieved. Okay, Jixi. Zhu said. What do you mean? What do you mean? Zhao said angrily. The intellectual woman pulled Zhao and said, this is a public place. What are you making a fuss about? Nothing. A mean expression, I thought. Zhu pulled his clothes, and Zhao Jixi stopped talking. He was also muttering in his heart, and he was indeed angry and hostile. The most important thing was that this man knew at a glance that Zhu didn't like him. He had thought that he might be able to push Zhu out, but now it was all in vain. It would be strange if he didn't get angry. This is Zhao Chang, Landowner, Yunnan. You know him, is Zhao Jixi. Zhu explained and everyone got to know each other. Nice to meet you. Zhao Jixi said. Hello. The The two women also said lightly, but they looked at Zhao Jixi with exploration and curiosity. This is a man who is richer than the richest man in the mainland, and he is still so young. He is the person introduced by my aunt. Now you have seen him. Zhao Chang, do you have any questions? Zhu Ye said. The three of them looked at each other. Of course, there was something wrong with the two girls, but it had nothing to do with Zhu Ye. Just as I was about to say it, Zhao Chang spoke up. Yeah, are you really going to follow him? His eyes were serious, and the atmosphere became a little solemn. Zhu Ye said, not necessarily. He and I are still young. We all have plenty of time to live the life we want. If I don't get married in the future, and he doesn't get married, maybe we will be together. Zhao Jixi didn't express his opinion immediately. What a woman says is worth thinking about. Is there any trap waiting for you in it? If you don't want to be with him, why do you reject me? I can also wait for you. Zhao Chang didn't understand. You are already this age. How long can you wait for me? Your parents are waiting for you to give them a grandchild. Besides, you are sometimes quite clingy. Isn't it good for everyone to live their own lives? Why do you have to be together? Zhao Chang was anxious after hearing this. If boyfriend and girlfriend are not together, are they still boyfriend and girlfriend? This is the difference between you and us. You have passed the time when we want to pursue freedom and self-determination. All you want is to have a home and a girlfriend, but this is not what I want. What do you want? Tell me. I will change it after you tell me. Zhao Chang said anxiously. What she wants is very simple. When she needs you, you come out. When she doesn't need you, you stay aside. Don't call her to ask about everything. We are all adults. Who doesn't know how to care about himself? Zhao Jixi took over the conversation and said happily. When you are free, you can be romantic. It is best not to involve family members in things between two people, as that will bring more troubles. When you are tired of life and want to change your lifestyle, you can discuss it. In life, it is best not to let her worry about the daily necessities of life. Don't urge the mother-in-law to have a child. She will have one naturally if she wants to. Life is best for two of us. Every year she will be a good wife and a good son-in-law, but only at specific times, such as the New Year, festivals, birthdays, and birthdays. You can take care of your parents, but don't force her to do the same. People are born free, and marriage will only restrict their freedom. Of course, if you don't want to be responsible, they will not be with you. In other words, that is, you have passed the era of freedom, and we still want to enjoy a few more years of freedom. At your age, if you still want freedom, then you are a scumbag. 20 years old is really a good age. Aren't you too irresponsible? The intellectual girl said angrily. Ma'am, this is the life we want, of course, at this stage. It may change with experience in the future, but at least it is still in our hearts now. Zhao Jixi said. Yeah. Zhao Chang read. Jess has made it very clear. Zhao Chang, let's not talk about whether you can give these. I'm such an irresponsible woman. I don't think your parents will like me. But these are secondary. Zhu Ye looked at Zhao Chang and said, the most important thing is that you are not worth my changes and compromises for you. Everyone can be a good wife, but why should I wrong myself and be a good wife with you? Is he worth it? Zhao Chang's heart was already hurt by this sentence. Now he is like a protagonist, and Zhao Jixi and the other two are like villains. In terms of achievements and the values of real society, he is indeed worthy of my change and compromise. If you are with me, you still need to use the relationship behind our Zhou family. Even if you don't use it, your parents will use it, so our combination will be full of benefits and transactions in the future. Jess doesn't need it. At least his family background is not complicated. He doesn't need so much help from the Zhou family in China. On the contrary, he can help the Zhou family. In addition, our elders have a good personal relationship. He is a much better choice than you. Zhao Jixi looked at Zhu Ye. The two of them actually have some tacit understandings, but it's still early. Now that they are together, neither of them is willing. Everyone is still so young and the world is still so beautiful. Well, although the words are a bit hurtful, this is the truth. Of course, this is one aspect. In addition, I won't talk about your own affairs. So no matter which reading, we are indeed not suitable. You may not have thought about why you and Zhu Ye can't be together before. Now you understand it? If you understand it now, it means another thing. Brother, use your brain more in the future. Zhou Jixi continued. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 835, Ruthless Turn. He picked up a glass of red wine and poured some for Zhu. I found that we do have some similar ideas. It's worth celebrating. Cheers. The two drank a glass, as if no one else was around. The restaurant you chose is very good. The steak is cooked just right. The beef still retains its original flavor under the blood, and it tastes good when chewed. Can you ask the chef to come out? Zhou Jixi said. Sure, I know the chef here too. She nodded and the waiter came over. Can you call the chef for me? Okay, Miss Zhou. Obviously she is a regular customer. The three silent people correspond to the two people who are talking and laughing. Everyone is not a poor and inferior person. It's just that compared with them, it seems that living is quite strange. I'm usually a mixed person. How can I still think I'm a good person compared with these two people? Especially Zhou Chang. At first I thought that it was because of his achievements that he could not get Zhu's recognition. Until now, he has figured it out. The former self may be what they are now. He is tired of playing and has played everything. He wants to take care of the elderly. I want to have a home, a girlfriend, and a wife. But they don't want it. They are still young and have time. Why should they be tied to you and live with you now? Especially Zhu is quite ***. She started a company with several children in the courtyard and became the vice president. Just like what Zhou Jixi said just now, they just want that person to appear by their side when they need him, and when they don't need him, it's best to stay away. Don't call if you don't have to, because you will get annoyed if you answer too many calls. Why is it like this? Yeah, you weren't like this before. Zhou Chang couldn't figure it out, with a look of confusion on his face. Zhu sat down and looked at him. Zhou Chang, people will change. I didn't realize it before, but now I realize it. Why can't I enjoy myself for a few years? With my ability and my wealth, why can't I enjoy life and freedom? Besides, with my family background, even if I'm older, I can still find a good family. You see, when I think about it, I realize that I'm wrong. What is money for? It is used for enjoyment. There are many things that you men can enjoy that we women can't enjoy, but we can also have a lot of our own happiness. Do you think these thoughts of mine are a bit selfish? Before Zhou Chang could speak, she spoke first. Yes, I also think it's selfish, but if I'm not selfish, do I have to wrong myself? Sorry, I can't do this now. So Zhou Chang, we are fundamentally different now. Reality is different from what is written in romance novels. Whoever loses love will die. In a few decades of life, love occupies so much time. Why should I use something that I can enjoy in the future to exchange for my entire life? Zhou Chang took a deep breath, waved his hand and said, stop talking. I understand. You have changed. You are different from the Zhu I knew before. You have become more fucked up than me. The children in the compound are all children in the compound, not stupid and smart, selfish, proud, and know who to bow to, and what to compromise with. He understood that at this time he was in love with her. His mother was still his mother, and his mother might not be her mother. It was not just Zhu's thoughts at this time, but also that she felt he was not qualified. This was hurtful, very hurtful, but compared with Zhou Jixi, he was really not qualified. Zhou Chang, are you okay? The girl named Yunan asked with concern. It's okay, let me have a drink first, I feel bad. Zhou Jixi didn't pay attention to this supporting role. Unless this man became the protagonist in the novel, he really couldn't change Zhu's heart. Official girls always have their own pride. Zhou Chang is obviously a second generation, but it's a pity that he is still unworthy. Some words can be hurtful, and I didn't want to say it in the first place. Zhu said, but now that I've brought it all out today, I'll just say it all at once. You're not a good person, but at least you're a good person today. I give you a +1 for that. Zhao Jixi also interjected at the right time. Sister Ye, how can you? Zhu Ye glanced over, her aura suddenly coming out. Lanlan, some things can be said, some things cannot be said. Your elders have taught you this, right? I'm not so and so in your family? To be honest, no matter what I'm like, it's not your turn to teach me a lesson. See your place clearly and do sensible things. The girl was confused by what Zhu Ye said. Tears welled up in her eyes. Sister Ye, I'm not. I didn't mean that. It's nothing, isn't it? I tolerated you before because I thought maybe I could still be with Zhao-chan. For the sake of everyone getting along, I don't mind your silly, unreliable, and arrogant behavior. Zhu Ye picked up a glass of red wine, took a sip and said, it's not necessary now. Since there is no possibility, you are of no use to me. If I give you face, you will keep it. If I don't give you face, you have to tolerate it. If we turn against each other, it will not be good for anyone. Zhu Ye, what do you mean by that? Yunan, an intellectual woman, said angrily. Okay, Yunan. Zhao-chan seemed to have matured all of a sudden. He stretched out his finger and waved it to make his cousin stop. Okay, Zhu Ye, I, Zhao-chan, have gotten to know you again today. In the past, the men in the compound were unwilling to pursue you, saying that they were afraid of your Zhou family. He paused and said, but some people said no, and they didn't say the reason. Now I understand that you are very realistic, arrogant in your bones, and ruthless. Great. Thank you for the compliment. This is just a little gossip. The main reason is that I have tolerated you for too long before. Now I feel better when I say it out. Zhu Ye was still elegant. She just looked back at Zhao Jixi. Do you see what I look like? This is me. The real me. This is only a part of you, not all of you. Zhao Jixi looked at him and smiled and said, it's good. If you are unhappy, just say it. It's a good thing. What do you need to care about useless people? The three people on the opposite side understood a little. Sure enough, some people are the same, and some people are different. Zhu Ye smiled, her fingers hanging on the wine glass. Sometimes, Jess, I think I was right about you. People are complicated. They have good sides and bad sides. Maybe you really were wrong. Zhao Jixi said in a roundabout way. Time will prove whether our decision is correct. I just hope it won't take too long. Zhu Ye looked at him deeply and said, I don't think it will be too early. Zhao Jixi said with a smile on his face. Chapter 386, Recruiting the Chef, Seeking Votes. The chef was dressed in a neat and tidy professional chef outfit, with white clothes and a round hat. His mental state made people feel that he was a very capable person. The chef came out and looked at Zhu Jinglei with a smile and said, hello, Miss Zhu, how do you feel about the food today? He was polite, but would not cause disgust from other men. He also nodded to Zhao Jixi, indicating that he was paying attention to his male companion. Zhu Ye ate some food in front of him and said to him, great, Doi, your cooking skills seem to have improved again. Thank you, this is a compliment I like to hear the most. Zhu Ye, I will only say it if you deserve it, otherwise I won't compliment others casually. Then she said, by the way, this is my friend Zhao Jixi. He ate the food you made, so he especially wanted to meet you. Zhao Jixi stood up, a little taller than the chef, stretched out his hand and said, hello, I'm Zhao Jixi. Hello, Doi. Feng. Camilla, you can call me Doi. The chef said. Doi is a mixed race of 4 countries. His father is a German and Chinese, and his mother is a Russian and Chinese. Zhu Ye explained. The food made by Mr. Doi tastes great. I like it very much. Zhao Jixi said. The chef's face has obvious Chinese features. He speaks Chinese very well, with the accent of the old capital. He sounds no different from a Chinese. It's just that his eye sockets and nose make him look like a Westerner. It was mainly my idea to invite you out this time. Zhao Jixi looked at him and said. Doi was a little curious. Oh, Mr. Zhao, do you have any questions? He asked. Zhao Jixi was silent for a second and then said, I have a chain of Western restaurants in the United States. The name is Sky City. I wonder if you know it? Sky City? Of course I know it. The best steaks, fresh and delicious fruit salads that are unforgettable. And the coffee, my god, I only went there once, and the beauty has always stayed in my mind. Dory said excitedly. Since Mr. Dory knows, that's the best. To be honest, your cooking skills are great, so I want to invite you to be the chef of a restaurant in New York. It will be a restaurant that is no worse than Los Angeles and San Francisco. Dory was shocked by the news. What was going on? He was invited to an international metropolis to be the chef of a high-end Western restaurant. Height? He couldn't help asking. Because your cooking skills are worth it. I just ate your food. You have a good grasp of the taste of Chinese people. And the main target of my restaurant in New York is initially planned to be the upper class of Chinese people, and I believe they will like what you cook. The most important thing is that you can make food that Chinese people like, and you can also make food that Americans like. This is what I value you for, Zhou said, and motioned his assistant to come over. Dory, your talent will be wasted here. We have the best ingredients, the best team, and the most beautiful environment. And you will be the chef of which place? This news seems too sudden. Dory was a little unsure. He put his fingers on his nose and mouth, then took them away, and then put them on again. Too sudden. He said at last. Of course, this is a little sudden. I understand your mood at this time. Don't worry, Mr. Dory, I'm not asking you to promise me anything now. I can give you time. He took the business card given to him by his assistant and handed it to Dory. This is my business card. If you think it over, you can contact me. Although I won't urge you, I still hope you can do it as soon as possible. The world is changing all the time. At this moment, I met you. After interviewing so many chefs, I was still not satisfied. Suddenly I found you, a genius. Maybe I will find another person in the next moment. Who knows these things? He looked at Dory, who was a little nervous, and he was very satisfied with what he said. I said this not to ask you to express it as soon as possible. Even if you meet a new one, I still need you. My Western food brand is still expanding and needs more talents. So what I want to say is that my door is always open for you. Dory took the business card and said, thank you, Mr. Zhou. I will think about it carefully. Okay, I'll wait for your news. He smiled and said. Dory put the business card into his clothes, and Zhou looked very satisfied. It's just that this business card is different from Liu Yan's. Liu Yan's business card can be contacted most of the time, while Dory's business card has a mobile phone number. His phone is mostly on his assistant recently, so when he calls, the assistant will answer the call first, and then the assistant will judge whether it is appropriate to borrow this phone at this time. When Zhou is sleeping or doing exercise, it is certainly not appropriate to answer the phone. After dinner, Zhou said that he would send Zhu home, and the woman of course did not comment. As for the 3 people, he would not send them, and they would not want him to send them. Zhou drove the car to chat with Zhu, and the car soon arrived at the community where Zhu lived. It's just that the security in this place is a bit strict, and Zhou's cars do not have passes for this side. Some of the cars did not drive out, but this is exactly what he meant. It's best not to go in. I'm here. Yes. I'll take you down. No need, I don't need you to take me in. Why are you coming down? I'll just take the environmental protection car with the security guard. Zhu said as she opened the door and got out of the car. Zhou breathed a sigh of relief and was about to leave when he suddenly remembered. He looked to the right of the seat and saw that there was something he hadn't delivered. He immediately took the thing, opened the door and ran down. Yeah, wait a minute. Zhu turned around and looked at him. What's the matter? This is for my aunt. I almost forgot about it, so you can take it in too. He handed her a slightly heavy suitcase. Oh my, there really is a lot of it. Zhu looked at the suitcase in surprise and then asked, what is it? The medicinal plant extracts I made. It's good for your health. Pointing at the suitcase, she said, I made this in the laboratory. The cost of plant extracts is too high and it's not suitable for mass production. So I only made this one and I didn't feel like making any more. Give this to your mother. It's good for her health. Nutritional supplement? Chapter 387. Nutritional supplements? It's not a nutritional supplement. It's much better than that stuff. Man, this is a real good thing. Zhou said without blinking. It's just a particle made of space water and plant extracts, which is also one of his failed products, but it's still a good thing. What is it for? Didn't they say it's good for the body? He couldn't help but pat his forehead. You can eat this thing too. Your endocrine system hasn't been very good recently. I guess you'll have some pain when your period comes in a few days. If you eat it for a few days, your period will be much better. After saying this, he happened to look at it from a distance. His eyelids twitched, and he didn't intend to continue. Go back to your mother and say hello to her. I'm leaving now. I have to take the plane. Zhu watched Zhao Jixi get into the car quickly, and she felt a little bit sad. Why is he so anxious? This person is really cute. Yeah, what are you doing here alone? Zhu looked back and immediately said in surprise, Mom, why did you come out? Your aunt and uncle came, and I was about to cook. Who knew that the things I bought from the supermarket today had not been delivered yet? It is said that a new person will not leave, and the delivery service is really not good, so I can only come out to see if they have arrived, said Zhu's mother. Oh, then you go in first. Give me the note, I'll wait. Zhu said. That's fine. Mother Zhu read the first part and gave the receipt to her daughter. By the way, I saw you chatting with someone from a distance just now. My goodness, there was a large group of people standing behind you two chatting. If it weren't for our district security guard standing next to you, I would have thought something happened. It's okay, just a friend. Friend, that friend? Do I know? Zhu's mother asked her daughter with a smile. With a bunch of black and white people around him, who else can it be? Zhu ignored her mother's teasing. Did Zhao Jixi send you back? Yes. Zhao-chan came to see me just now, so I got Jixi out, so I could get rid of him. I'm not in the mood to get involved with the Zhou family recently. My cousin told me that something is going to happen to the Zhou family recently, and told me not to have any contact with them. Yes, the people above are going to thoroughly investigate the people over there. It seems that the fight is almost over now, and they are powerless to save the situation. Our Zhou family is in the right position now. Since the situation is like this, there is no need to leave a way out, so as not to be looked down upon by others. Your aunt is talking about this matter today. You didn't need to get involved in it in the first place. It's a good thing to get out now. Mother Zhu said to her daughter in a low voice. Yes. Zhu nodded. The Zhu family is determined to go with Zida this time. The younger generation doesn't need to continue to connect secretly. Instead, it is necessary to connect with the rising new group. But there are men in the Zhu family who can do this, so she doesn't need to be busy. She thought about it secretly and felt relieved. What's in your hand? Zhu's mother asked. Zhu raised her hand and saw. Oh, this is the gift that Jess said he would give you. Zhu's mother took the suitcase handed over by her daughter. What is this? And it's still in it? I don't know. It's said to be a plant essence extract. It seems that he made it in the laboratory and said you should take it every day. It's good for your body. Nutritional supplements. This kid is thoughtful. It's not nutritional supplements. This concept is wrong. High tech. Something that can't be bought outside. How can Zhao Jixi be summarized as a simple nutritional supplement? The two chatted like this, and Zhu's mother didn't go back immediately. It happened that the supermarket delivery man delivered the things and apologized. The mother and daughter did not blame him anymore. The security guard helped to deliver the things in, using an environmentally friendly electric car. When Zhu returned home, she saw her aunt and uncle. She went over and called them honestly, and the two of them also praised her. Then asked about her recent situation and her affairs. Zhu also said some situations, especially when the two asked about Zhao Jixi. She looked at the situation and said a little. That child is still young, and Aya is not old either. Besides, let them try it first when it comes to the two children. We are not the parties involved in the relationship. I don't know what the situation is, so I won't say much. Mother Zhu was considerate of her daughter and said to the two people, we are afraid that Yaya will suffer. Jixi is a child. We introduced her to Yaya. If something happens, it will be so unfair to you. Aunt Zhu said. Don't worry, this kid doesn't have that courage. At this time, Zhu said, he is a smart man. The three people thought about it and laughed immediately. It's true. With the influence, some of Zhou's RUI can still be seen. He is young, but sometimes he is very cautious in doing things. In addition, everyone is so familiar with each other. If he really does something, then he will have to marry her at that time. On the contrary, everyone is clean and there is still a lot of room for maneuver. We are relieved now. Okay, let's not talk about this. The children's affairs, they just know it themselves, and we don't need to interfere. Mother Zhou said. The two of them nodded. Just now, the child came over, but he just left when I went out. Mother Zhou said with regret. I left this for Yaya, saying it was a small gift. No matter how good the gift is, it can't compare to someone coming directly. How dare he come to your house with Yaya in this situation? Aunt Zhou Yaya said with a smile. I guess his legs will tremble when he sees you. It's not like what you said. What have I become? Mother Zhou said. By the way, what did this kid give me? The way it was packed is so strange. Let me open it. He just taught me how to open this box. Zhou Yaya said as she got up from the sofa. Several people agreed, and Zhou Yaya started to open the box according to the steps Zhou said. First, unlock the combination lock, then there are 2 more locks, and then you can open the box. With a click, the last lock of the box was also unlocked, and Zhou Yaya opened it carefully. The closing force was still a little heavy, and after she added some strength, the box opened a little, but suddenly she felt a chill on her hand. After slowly opening the box, white cold mist came out. Several people looked at this thing strangely. This looks really high tech. Mother Zhou couldn't help but sigh. This is for refrigeration. Jess said that this thing can't be kept for a long time at room temperature. It's difficult to read this aspect, and there is no plan to mass produce it, so there is no research in this aspect. We can only equip it with such things. If we don't use a box, we have to put it in the refrigerator. Zhou Yaya said as she looked at the things in the box. There were 3 green glass cylinders. There was a centimeter thick metal cover at the top and bottom of the cylinder. The glass is actually transparent, but the green particles inside make the bottle look green. Is this the extract he said? Mother Zhou looked at this thing and asked curiously. It should be. Zhou Yaya smiled and said, 1 or 2 a day is enough. Mother Zhou took the cylinder handed over by her daughter and looked at it. It was pretty good, but it was cold in her hand, so she put it on the table and started to think about how to open it. He said the taste is astringent. You just need to eat it with some sugar. Zhou Yaya said, but I guess this guy hasn't studied how to improve the taste. You girl, he gave me something, and you still say bad things about him. It's not a mass-produced thing. How can it be improved so much? Ours is equivalent to the original liquid, which is much better than those things with flavors. Zhou's mother obviously knows the goods. Some things taste good, but they must not be of much benefit to the original products. Those are just for the consumers after mass production. Mom. Zhou Yaya didn't agree with her mother's words. Did they say what it's used for? Aunt Zhou Yaya asked curiously. Zhou Yaya recalled. It's said to be good for health and good for the skin. There are also endocrine and other things. He didn't give me specific data. I'll ask Jess to send me a copy tomorrow. But when she said this, she leaned next to her aunt and said in a low voice, oh, then you should eat it too. It's good for you. Aunt smiled and nodded. I know, this is probably used to deal with menopause. Mother Zhou was still thinking, and the pictures of some TV dramas on TV gave her a hint. Oh, he. Immediately, several women laughed together. Several people gathered around and talked about this. Mother Zhou went to copy a few dishes, and several people had a meal at Zhou's house. When leaving, Mother Zhou also gave a bottle to her aunt and asked her to take the box away, and her 2 were put in the refrigerator. She was very happy to give it away, but after a week, after the effect was obvious, Mother Zhou regretted it. This good thing really needs to be eaten every day. Although the taste is a little worse, it is still acceptable compared to the effect. The skin has become firmer and the body feels healthier and healthier. The previous inability to do something has also disappeared. In addition to regretting giving a bottle to others, Mother Zhou also annoyed others. Seeing the effect of her aunt, other relatives also wanted it. But there is only so much of this thing. How can I bear to give it away? Well, this may be the trouble of happiness. What they don't know is that someone took the pills for testing. If they knew what the ingredients were, they might be able to make it. The test only detected part of it, but the content of these drugs is really high. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.